Good morning. It is straight up 6 o'clock right here on the Sports Talk leader in Wichita, KGSO, 1410 AM, 93.9 FM. We're also live streaming at KGSO.com. We're in our KGSO app. You find that in the App Store, SC Wichita. That's how you search us out. You can catch us, watch, listen, leave comments for the show on multiple platforms streaming: Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch TV. Doug and James hanging out with you on this Wednesday morning, a little day we like to call Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Right here in our Renewal by Anderson studio. Superior products, exceptional service. That's what you get with Renewal by Anderson. A lot to get to today on this midweek show. We have got a couple of breakdowns that we're going to do. We're going to talk about 3 more Big 12 teams throughout the morning this morning. Give you our assessment of those teams. We're going to break down the NFC North, the good and the bad of each one of those teams. We'll talk a little baseball. We'll talk some high school sports. And we're even going to get into some WNBA because this is getting out of hand. But, James, let's start out on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotlines. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How you doing,
How are
Corey?
you? This is Corey.
Doing good.
Season hadn't started yet. Some teams in the SEC have gone where they sold their season tickets already, Doug. Their whole season sold out and everything. Does it shock you that some teams have sold out already, Doug?
No.
In the SEC?
No.
No.
Not at all. People are excited for college football. It happens every year this time of year that these teams sell out their season tickets and ready to go, ready to get it going.
Oh, just blows your mind to where, and I turned off the best baseball game last night, and Yankees turned around and went against Seattle last night because it was 5th inning. I changed it, and they were doing the pitching duel last night.
Yeah, you missed a good one last night if you didn't watch the Royals game. That was a good game. Didn't end up good, but it was a good game.
Now, I've never seen in Major League Baseball, I've never seen a pitcher duel.
Yeah.
Striking out and everything, and like, oh my world. I changed it, they finally scored. Beat Seattle last night.
Chuck and I had this debate one time, James. I want to get your thoughts on this. What constitutes a pitching duel?
Both starters go 7+, give up 2 less.
Okay, so if it's a entire, well, not an entire, but if it is starters, reliever, closers come in, and the game is only 1-0, is that considered a pitching duel?
Well, duel is only 2 people, but if you want to expand the definition to 2 teams, then that could technically work.
We had this debate because I said a pitching duel has to be between the 2 starters.
Right.
Like the bullpen doesn't matter.
It matters, but not in that context.
Right.
So I can get that. I can get behind that.
And really, this morning, I watched the guys from Sports Satellite deal. It really shocks me to make Tyler Murray the starting quarterback for Minnesota Vikings, Doug.
I mean,
that really blew.
I'm not sure what shocks you about it, Corey. Like, their only other option is J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
I don't know if J.J. McCarthy's ever going to be a college quarterback or a pro quarterback. He was good in college, but he was surrounded by really, really good players and a system that just fit him. I don't know. Maybe he will be. Maybe he'll be that guy that we've seen that have went somewhere else and, has had success. I mean, we certainly saw Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold will see him.
He went off and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And everything.
And,
went to a different team.
2 years prior to that, he was seeing ghosts. So.
Yeah, it just shocks me. Did he go to Seattle and they hadn't won the Super Bowl in a while, and they go off and win it this last year,
Yeah, I would say this for J.J. McCarthy. If you're not picking up an NFL system under Kevin O'Connell, who seems to be the quarterback whisperer, then you're probably not going to pick up an NFL system.
I will bring it up. Women's NBA. I think dirty when people trying to hit other women. I think you should be suspended for about 5 games. And, Clark finally got to go play this past weekend. She did real okay and everything. I just think they should suspend you for 5 games, Doug, when you do a threat like that. Do it like they do in the men's NBA,
Here's
and everything.
Here's the problem with the WNBA right now, in my opinion. There's so much outside noise stuff going on that nobody is any longer paying attention to the product on the court.
That's exactly what Cunningham said. Said our media focuses on everything but the game.
Yeah. And it's too bad because there's some very talented players in this league.
Oh, yeah, just and everything. Well, what information you got on the high school football this week? You heard anything? You're likely, Doug?
I would imagine. I haven't heard anything from any of the coaches. I would imagine that they will practice in the mornings tomorrow, starting next week because of the heat. So you're probably going to see stadium lights on early in the morning. I'm guessing that's probably going to be the plan to get things kicked off.
That's what the coach from Northwest does when it's like that. He does early morning, I think 5 a.m.
Well, it's kind of a Acacia rule, I think, when it's this hot that they have to go. They have to have the heat contingency plan. So,
yeah, I think some coaches do early too, and some of them kids had to be in bed early, and everything, real early, and everything.
Yeah, they're not going to be at Sonic till 11 o'clock working, Corey.
No, they won't be. No, they won't. But I tell my friend plays for Eisenhower, he is not going to win Derby. He's got to be out of his mind. Coach Brendan is really good. And everything else, I told him that, Doug, because Coach Brendan's been really good the last 6 years I've been here, and everything. Eisenhower goes off, he plays for Eisenhower, I tell him, no way. Their home turf. They're really good, super good when it comes to their home turf. Dearly,
Yeah.
It really shocks me. And when Coach Brennan he's been in the state playoffs. He's got close to winning, lost it, but I know he's got a good team this year. A lot of people didn't leave to go to college, and he got good every time. He's got a stout quarterback every year, and I believe they got a good team this year and everything. Mr. James, when it comes to Major League Baseball, who you see standing out and winning it all this year?
Well,
in your opinion,
I think in the NL we can narrow it down to the Dodgers and we can narrow it down to 3. The Braves, the Brewers, and the Dodgers. I think we can narrow it down to those 3. And then the American League, I'm not counting out the Astros. They've had a really good post All-Star record. Their pitching seems to be coming around a little bit more, and this is around the time of the year where the Astros start to turn it up anyway. It's kind of what they always do, and I know there's so many new moving parts there, but you can't count them out. I'm not going to count Boston out, especially with what they've been doing over the last month. And then probably have Tampa Bay and New York just kind of hanging around. So I'm going to narrow it down to 4 teams in the American League and 3 for the National League.
Culpepper was playing up here, Doug. He went to playing for Minnesota this week. The minor league prospect Minnesota had, he started playing for Minnesota this past week. And he's smacking it. He's coming up, and they called him up from the minors and doing really well. Like Minnesota's like 2 or 3 games behind, Doug.
Yeah.
And it's wide open, like you said, in the next league. wide open, and everything. And good morning to y'all, and thank y'all.
All right. Thanks, Corey. Appreciate the phone call. Haven't heard from Corey all week. He starts us out with our laundry list of things to talk about. Always wants to know who's going to win baseball. Puts it up on Facebook a lot, too.
He's putting in those futures.
Yeah? Trying to make a little money.
Trying to make a little money off of us.
Might have been a pitching duel last night in L.A. You had Walker on the mound for the Royals, Snell for the Dodgers. Both guys pitched well, went 6 innings or more. Neither guy, Snell gave up 1 walk in the game between the two. 15 strikeouts between the two. And, 10 hits were given up, but only 4 runs. It was just, the Royals played a good game. I couldn't fall asleep last night, and so I ended up watching way more of it than I wanted to. Played a good game last night, had a good 8 innings, scored 3 runs to come from behind, took the lead, and then can't hang on, and they give up a run in the 10th, and the Dodgers win 5-4.
In this era, I may have to alter it a little bit, just because pitchers aren't out as long as they used to be. So if they go 6 strong for both sides, I'll consider that a duel. Yeah. So I would even say that this Phillies-Cardinals game, that's a pitching duel, even though neither starter got a win. They both went 6 strong, both didn't give up a run. So that's a pitching duel.
They pitchers anymore just they don't keep them in the game. I mean, there's even guys that have been on. Wasn't there a guy just like a couple of weeks ago that had a perfect game going, and they pulled him?
There's actually 2 teams, I believe, this year that have yet to have a starter go into the 8th.
Really?
And start the 8th.
Wow.
Yeah, they just have completely avoided that.
Well, both of these guys last night, Snell and Waka, I know that they were approaching 100 pitches when they got pulled. I know Walker was in the 90s. I'm not sure where Snell ended up when he got pulled. Jack Caglione had a nice night last night. He did well at the plate. Very good. He ended up with 2 hits, had 1 RBI, scored a run. So he had a nice night. Bobby Witt, doing Bobby Witt things, had 2 hits, scored 2 runs last night.
Yeah, Walker had 96 pitches.
96, is that where he ended up?
Yeah.
I think when I shut it off, he was at about 94.
Snell had 84, so
okay,
on 10 Ks, that's pretty efficient stuff.
Yeah, he was throwing well last night. There's no doubt. Actually, if it wasn't for Witt and Cags, I mean, the hitting was not great by the Royals last night. Perez ends up getting 1 late in the game. Tolbert got 1. But outside of that, it was pretty much the Witt, Cags, and they're hitting back to back now.
I think that's smart. I think they should have tried that experiment a long time ago. About 40 games ago.
Yeah, the problem is the back half of the lineup. Massey's had a few games here and there. Jensen's been okay, but the back half of the lineup has just not been very efficient. I don't know what happened to Isbell. Like, he started out with the Royals. He was one of the leading hitters on the team. Batting .229 now. He's one of the worst on the team.
Yeah, he missed about a month. And he hasn't quite been what you wanted him to be as far as a veteran goes, but that's life. Outfielders are interchangeable, in my opinion. So I don't want them to make it an emphasis for them to, go out of their way to keep him. Because you'll always find another outfielder that can give around his production.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't. I don't know where he's at on his contract, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't do anything on a midseason.
I am a little too.
Maybe he's just not deep enough into his contract. I'm not sure.
He's on a 1-year deal.
Is he?
That's really weird.
Yeah, why wouldn't they have done something there? Because he has not really been that productive all year long.
What's he hitting? 230, you said?
229.
Yeah.
Yep. You forgot about the Tampa Bay Rays in the American.
No, I said Tampa.
Oh, did you?
New York. I said you could throw in New York and Tampa.
The American League is, I think, kind of wide open. I mean, I don't
think anyone from the Central has a chance.
Yeah, maybe not.
The White Sox have the only dying chance, in my opinion, but they would have to obviously pull off the upset all postseason long.
Yeah, you probably have 3 in the East: the Rays, Yankees, Red Sox, Astros, Rangers, maybe the Mariners in the West.
I don't even trust the Rangers or the Mariners. No one's talking about how much of a drop off Cal Raleigh is at either. I mean that's scary how much he has dropped off and regressed this year.
Well, maybe he doesn't like where he's at.
I don't know. People are saying it had to do something with the handshake. Remember during the World Baseball Classic, it was one of his teammates was in the box. And he tried to, say what's up to him, and they didn't. You don't remember that?
I don't.
There was
no.
a little bit of controversy with the World Baseball Classic because there were 2 teammates, and the other teammate wouldn't acknowledge Raleigh when he was in the box.
They're competitors in this situation.
Right. In that scenario, sure, but I mean they're regular teammates throughout the season, so you couldn't at least acknowledge the guy. I mean,
how do you think that went when they came back to the clubhouse? Hey, man, what's wrong with you? I was trying to just give you a what's up, and
let's see.
You snubbed me.
Yeah, he's I thought I had Cal Raleigh's stats right here, but yeah, he has. I think his batting average has dropped even more.
And he led the league last year, right?
In home runs.
Home runs.
He has 12 through 86 games.
Wow.
After hitting 60 last year.
How does that happen?
And he dropped 88 batting average points.
Yeah, but here's the other thing: are guys pitching to him? Has he been walked more?
He was intentionally walked 17 times last year. That number is 0 this year.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not afraid of
him.
They're
not fearing him.
They're
at
not
all,
afraid of him anymore.
Man,
and he's been walked 43 times, which
you got to think
one
then
every 2 games.
You got to think then that
it's something mental.
Either that or there's some kind of a nagging injury that he's not talking about. It's not allowing him to swing the bat because that's a huge drop, dude.
I haven't heard this theory either, but I think him losing the MVP race, that might have done something to him. Usually that lights a fire under some people, and it's like, all right, I got to keep working. But for a catcher to do what he did last year, we had never seen that before in the history of the game. And he was probably under the full impression that, yeah, since I've done something that no other catcher's ever done, I'm kind of, not what do you call it?
Didn't Buster Posey, wasn't he like that though?
Well, I'm saying 60 home runs for a catcher. That had never happened up until that point. I think Posey may have won 1 MVP, but I don't know if he had the offensive production to do that.
I thought Posey won the Derby one time.
Now you're testing me. I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did.
I remember Buster Posey in college, man. That kid was just phenomenal. Phenomenal catcher. It's so cool he comes back here and does that catcher's camp, too. With the Johnny Bench Award.
Oh, he did in 2012. Okay.
I thought he did.
Hit 336. And then had 24 home runs, 103 RBIs.
I mean, 60 home runs is a lot for anybody, let alone...
Right. That's only been done less than 10 times, I think.
Well, it was Sosa, McGuire, Bonds.
Bonds did it twice, I think.
Right, yeah.
Maris.
Maybe
even 5 without looking.
I mean, and it depends on whether or not you're giving McGuire and Bonds and Sosa any credit because they were all juiced up.
I think A-Rod, I don't think A-Rod ever hit to 60. I think he might have been at 57 or 58.
Has Judge got there?
Judge has gotten Judge has the record, 62.
I thought Bonds still had the record.
Well, he's National League.
Oh, okay.
Right. I'm talking about American League record.
I got you.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about overall.
No, Aaron Judge beat Roger Maris's record 2 years ago.
Yeah. Is Bond still 73?
Yeah. That'll never get broken. Unless they
guys don't juice anymore.
Well, unless they continue to shorten the fields, then maybe someone has a chance.
You know, there's a lot of people that came down, especially on McGuire and Sosa over that. I look at it a different way. That battle probably saved baseball.
A lot of people believe that. A lot of people do.
Because people had given up on it until that. I just remember all the little dinghy boats out in the lakes trying to get the home run balls. Back after this.
Call the game plan now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The game plan. KGSO.
This is Stu Gatz and Company live.
The audience wants this.
You're listening to Stu Gatz and Company live.
We've established that the Brewers were too good
Yes.
to add Scuba because it would just mess everything up.
I understand why the Brewers wouldn't do that. They're not trying to win. There is no reason to trade for Scooble, a 2-month rental, give up all those prospects, and then eventually when the season's over, he's going to be a Dodger.
Stu Gatz and Company live is right here.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. on KGSO and on the SC Wichita app.
It's time for you to experience the expertise in beer, wine, and spirits. With 2 locations across Wichita, Auburn Spirits is passionate about providing you with the most exclusive wines, unique beers, and world-class spirits. Whether it's for the big game, a night with family and friends, or any other special occasion, Auburn Spirits takes your celebration to the next level. Visit our east or west location in Wichita or find out more information online at auburnspirits.com.
Warm weather is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor space. Let the experts at Burwell Construction transform your backyard with a beautiful patio cover or pergola designed to add comfort, shade, and style to your home. Imagine relaxing outside, entertaining friends, or enjoying a Kansas sunset without the worry of weather. Quality craftsmanship, dependable service, and outdoor spaces built to last. That's what you get with Burwell Construction. Call today, 794-3430, 316-794-3430, or burwellconstruction.com. Next time you're scooting down Kellogg through Goddard, make a stop at the Rusted Bean Coffee Shop. Treat yourself to creative signature espresso drinks, real fruit smoothies, customized dirty sodas, made fresh breakfast favorites, and of course, great coffee brewed just the way you like it. Be a star with your buck and shop local at the Rusted Bean Coffee Shop, where you'll find more than 7 delicious brews waiting for you. The Rusted Bean Coffee Shop in Goddard. Worth the stop every time. It's back to school time, and Moneytown Pawn has been helping families save. Whether your student is joining the school band or orchestra, you'll find quality name brand instruments for hundreds less than retail. Looking for the perfect finishing touch? Shop our huge selection of new and pre-owned jewelry to help your student look their best on the first day of school. For over 60 years, Moneytown Pawn has been helping families get ready for back to school while stretching their budget. Stop by today and see why generations have trusted Moneytown Pawn. Just south of Pawnee on Oliver.
Every school pickup line has a main character. Most days, it's the kids. But once a year, a parent pulls up in a brand new Kia Telluride. And suddenly, all eyes are on Mom.
Is that the new one?
I heard it comes in a hybrid now. I heard it has heated seats in all 3 rows.
And for a moment, the kids aren't the only ones in the spotlight. This August, let that parent be you, because Mom deserves to shine too. Or if it's your student's turn to get behind the wheel, find great starter cars like the K4 sedan and K4 hatchback. Plus, you can get 0% financing on brand new Sportage and Sorrento models. And every new Kia is backed by our unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Whichever model you choose, we have big savings on great vehicles for that main character energy. Only at Midwest Kia.
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
With approved credit, see dealer for details. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty.
KGSO Studio, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service. Find them online at renewalbyanderson.com. Remember, today you listen to The Game Plan on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Kissing like a bandit, stealing time underneath the sycamore tree.
You want better service at a better price? You need to see our friends with English Rentals and Trash. They can take care of all of your trash services at your home, your business, throughout your entire neighborhood. If you're a part of a homeowners association, you want to try to make a group deal, they're willing to listen to that as well. Jump online at english-rentals.com, english-rentals.com, Check out all their services, grab their phone number, then give them a call and find out how you can save money and get better service. You'll be glad you did when you contact English Rentals and Trash Service. That's English-Rentals.com. Tell them you heard about them right here on KGSO and the Game Plan. So, again, I don't follow the WNBA a ton, but obviously with everything that's been going on, you can't help but see what's happening. I mean, it has kind of taken over social media. I don't know a lot about Stephanie White, the Indiana Fever coach, other than what you read and what you hear. But, boy, she was fiery at the press conference last night.
I think this all started when she didn't even back up her own team. That, to me, that stood out to me. It's like, I don't care what you personally think about the play that had happened. You back your team up. That's why you're there. And so if I'm a player and my coach isn't backing me up, I don't respect you. I don't want to play for you. I don't want to be associated with you. If that's how you're going to go out and act and not have my back and continue to double down on what this whole controversy is about, you shouldn't be there. I'm sorry. I don't care how good you are. You don't have your own team's back.
Well, to the point where one of your star players comes to the sideline, she's bleeding, and you can see, I don't know what the exchange was, but obviously Sophie Cunningham did not like what she heard from her coach because she basically looked at her coach and said, "Don't worry about it, I got this." And then went out and did her own thing. Here's what Stephanie White, the coach of the Indiana Fever, had to say in her press conference.
I take personally any suggestions that
Which, by the way, this comes from the fact that she got booed by her own fans when she walked onto the court last night.
I don't 100.
Oh, come on. Really? Okay, we have to wait 28 seconds for a stupid ad to play right in the middle of what we're trying to play.
After
here.
playing it for 2 seconds. That's the worst.
It's just, look, we're in the ad business. We love our sponsors. We want our sponsors, but come on. Come on, Alphabet Soup Channel. You can't do this right in the middle of a press conference. It's kind of ridiculous. All right. Back to what Stephanie White had to say here. And now it's... Hang on. Oh, it's not even the right video now. So I guess I'll tell you what she had to say. She basically came out and said, and I'm going to paraphrase here a little bit, to say that I don't have my team's back is ridiculous. You guys are trying to create a narrative other than the product that's on the floor, which is what we should be talking about. It simply does not exist. She said we're united, we're connected, we're not divided. Every day when they go low, we go high, which every time I've heard somebody make that statement, it usually comes from somebody that's kind of an idiot. Love will win, grace will win, humility will win, and kindness will win. I stand by them, I always stand by them, and everybody else can go to hell. And then she got up and walked off.
Sounds a little bit like someone is in their feels. That they're not taking this from the professional side. And I know that this could spark some controversy in itself, but it seems like it's a little bit emotional. A little bit.
It sounds to me like her team knows that she doesn't have their back when it comes to everything that's going on right now. And I don't know, James. I don't understand this.
We all see it. We all saw it. And she's trying to spin it off to have it be something else. It's like, no. We all saw it. We all saw what happened. Don't try and alter it.
I cannot think of another sport where your star players, the ones that are bringing the eyeballs, bringing the money to your game, has you flying charter instead of commercial now, probably was the reason why the collective bargaining agreement is now in your favor. I don't think I've ever seen another sport where they're the ones that the rest of the league are trying to come after. I've never seen this before.
Right. Could you imagine 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when Mia Hamm was doing her thing, but the rest of the team, anytime they practiced, fouling her, trying to get her injured. Like, could you imagine
No.
that? Like, people would lose their minds. It's like Mia Hamm is the team. Like, she is why would you try and do anything to make sure that she isn't at her best? And that's kind of the same thing with Miss Clark. Same exact thing.
You can even flip this over to the men's side. Could you imagine 5 years ago that all of a sudden the teammates were taking cheap shots at Mahomes at practice? Like, it just doesn't happen, right?
Or blatantly, unnecessary roughness.
Right.
Like, they don't care about the 15-yard call. Who cares? I get to hit them. Like, could you imagine? No. The outcry would be outrageous. So this isn't any different, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, fellas.
Anthony, what's going on?
Man, this is 2 days in a row. Your hair's probably standing up like, okay. But I told you, new schedule, new job, grateful. But I hear some of what you're talking about. Just got in the car, turned on the radio, and I hear the Miss Clark takes. I read the comments in these very toxic chat groups. I hear people saying things like Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark need to leave. And I'll reference it the way the people say it. They need to leave the racist league and let this league falter. And I heard you guys talking about, can you imagine what would have happened, and representing Mia Hamm and Patrick Mahomes. But I think the WNBA has become a product of what the fans have been clamoring for, because even you and me, Doug, we go back a ways when we talk about the WNBA, and the thing was, we don't know these players. We don't have no connections with them. And that's why come here is not such as huge problem, which is why come names like the Maya Moores, the Rebecca Lobos. Well, she's not forgetting because she's an analyst. But some of the names in the past, it's easy to forget them because we didn't grow up watching them. But some of the biggest knocks on the league was, well, these girls don't play above the rim. They're not physical. Also, like this, I think the fans were still envisioning women's basketball still being played half court with peach baskets. Now that the game has become a little bit more physical, somewhat like the guys' game, now there's an outcry, and the only time some fans see fouls is when it's on certain particular players, but they turn a blind eye to other ones. So you have terms like the league is racist and the league is jealous. But if you let these players talk and let you tell them about the league, and of course the coach for the Fever, she came out on the interview and said, we stand divided. We're not going to let this hate divide us. And, the spiel that she gave, and she basically said, the rest of y'all can go to hell, and got up from her press conference. I think now that the league has become somewhat of what the fans were saying the league wasn't, now everybody has something to say, but they really don't know what to say. So that's my take on it.
So here's my thought on that, and I may be wrong, but this league ain't for guys like you and I. You know what this league is for? This league is for those 12, 13, 14-year-old girls that are playing basketball that now have role models that they can look up to and convince their parents to take them to a game and spend money. And parents will do that because parents will do things for their kids to try to make them better, especially at athletics. That's what this league is for. And when you have the kind of stuff that's going on in this league continuing to go on, as a parent, you look at your kid and go, I don't want you watching this. This is not how the game is supposed to be played. This is not how people are supposed to act towards each other. I'm not going to get into the whole race thing about this because I really don't know. I don't know what the motivator is behind why this league is going the way it is. I just know it needs to come to a stop.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure there is some petty jealousy going on, and there may be a little bit of race, but here's what I also like to reference as well, too. You and me grew up, we're seasoned. We grew up in an era when there wasn't no social media. You only had basically the three major networks. And at best, if I could say it like this, we were pretty much forced to watch Larry Bird, White Man, Magic Johnson, black man, but without us having an opinion on it, we watched them elevate the NBA until a guy named Michael Jordan came along. So that's one of the biggest difference, because now everybody feels empowered to have a comment, even if it doesn't have nothing to do with basketball, whereas we watched two of the greatest grow the game that was about to die.
And I think the majority of the people that watched basketball back then, I got to believe this anyway, that the majority of the people that watched those two guys didn't say, well, I'm only going to watch Larry Bird because he's white, or I'm only going to watch Magic Johnson because he's black. I think the majority of the people watching those two guys went, these dudes are amazing, and they're fun to watch. I don't care what color they are.
I can believe that to a certain point, but when you also look at the demographics of their teams, when you look at there's Boston, and of course Boston has a history. Then you got L.A., the glitz and glamour. Of course, you got the Rolling 60s, the gang members. I'm not going to give their names any play on the station. So you have a difference of two cultures clashing. So had we had social media back then, can you imagine how it would have been if based on what we're seeing today, the internet probably would have crashed. And then to add more fuel to the fire, remember one of the epic quotes that Larry Bird left us with, and I'm going to get off after this. I guess he was talking to Charles Barkley, and he said, you know what? He said, I'm kind of offended at y'all's team or somebody's team. He says, why? He says, because you got a white guy guarding me. So only Larry Bird could say something like that and get away with it. You guys have a great day.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. 522-1410. And that is a good point there towards the end of the conversation of how much different would sports have been in that era had there been something like social media. You know, would we have seen this in the men's game had there been social media back at that time?
I don't think so. Because we don't have it today in the NBA.
No. I mean, we have drama.
Right, but not petty drama like that. If those guys back then wanted to deal with a problem, they would do it face to face. Like that they wouldn't go to a phone because they couldn't, but they had a problem with them. They had no problem approaching them and confronting them face to face. That's how men do things. We don't do things behind each other's backs.
I would say this. If any part of this, and I don't care what side you're on this, if any part of this is going on and it's racially motivated, where the hell is the commissioner of this league and why are they not stepping in? Where's the players union and why are they not stepping in? Like that needs to be dealt with.
Well, they don't want to label. They don't want to label it as that.
No, but that's what everybody else is labeling it, right?
Right.
So that needs to be stopped. That narrative needs to be stopped immediately. And you got to find out what the root of the problem is here. And if that is the root of the problem, you got to start kicking players out of the league, don't you?
Yeah, because I don't think suspending would do anything. I don't think you could make them. I guess there's only two things that you can do. You can suspend them or kick them out.
It's not like different races don't play against each other in college. Like it ain't the first time that that different race of people have played together in this game. Like I don't understand it. I think it's a jealousy thing. I think this is the fact that
it wasn't me. I wasn't the one that did it. I'm on board with that.
Yeah, you've got Caitlin Clark, who came in known as one of the best shooters that we've ever seen in women's basketball, although I'd say Lynette Woodard probably was the first one to start that. But you got Caitlin Clark, who's come in. You know, everybody followed her in college, especially her senior year. She brought a new fan base in. I think there's some jealousy for that. And then you got Sophie Cunningham, who's a good player, but also is a good-looking gal that gets out there and does things. Was at the UFC White House fight as a card girl and all that. So to me, I think this is a whole jealousy thing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the easier way to narrow this down without hurting anybody's feelings.
It's crazy though, man. I've never seen a league sabotage himself with their two stars. And there's more. I mean, there's more stars in this game.
I mean, people would argue that they tried to do that with Mike, and Mike was just too mentally strong to let that affect him.
They tried to bring him into politics. And that's where he was mentally strong and went, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving my opinion. I'm not getting involved.
I like my checks.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the gambling thing kind of almost got out of hand, but outside of that, he stayed pretty level. Man, a scare in Arkansas. We'll talk about it next.
This portion of the game plan brought to you by Southwestern Remodeling, Wichita's full-line remodeler since 1970. See our project galleries at southwesternremodeling.com.
The game plan. KGSO.
Want to hear more of KGSO? Don't forget to download our app today. Fill out weekly surveys, register to win great prizes, listen live, message our shows, and so much more. Plus, get reminders of special programming and games you don't want to miss. Just find SC Wichita in your app store and make KGSO your new favorite app. It's Wichita's Sports Talk, right on your phone. Download the SC Wichita app today with Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Are you looking for a better healthcare experience this summer? Kingman Healthcare Center is a full-service hospital with a 24/7 emergency room with little to no wait times. Our clinics offer same-day appointments and convenient scheduling for your annual checkups. Don't wait. Make your health a top priority and schedule your appointment today. You won't regret the short drive without the big city traffic. Exceptional care every time. To learn more, visit our website, kingmanhc.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
The best barbecue deal in town is at Hog Wild. Right now, Hog Wild is serving up a $5.99 meal that's big on flavor and easy on your wallet. Get a one-meat sandwich, your favorite classic side, and a drink, all for just $5.99. Want brisket? Upgrade to our tender slow-smoked beef brisket for only $1.50 more. Pulled pork, juicy chicken, and hot links. Everything is smoked fresh, made daily, and piled high. This is real barbecue at a price that's hard to beat. When you want big flavor and a big deal, head to Hog Wild for the $5.99 meal deal today. Great food, great price, great barbecue. Join us for lunch or dinner or order online at gohogwild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 6 locations in Wichita, also in Derby, El Dorado, Hutchinson, and Salina.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you. But don't be late, we close at 8.
Looking for a new-to-you ride? For over 70 years, customers have trusted Rustiak Ford with quality vehicles and exceptional service. We have 500 used cars available with 150 Ford Blue Advantage certified. From fuel-efficient cars to tough trucks and versatile SUVs, you'll find quality, value, and selection all in one place. That's peace of mind with every mile. Buy with confidence at Rustiak Ford. Visit rustiakford.com. Family owned and simply the best place to buy. See dealer for details.
Across Kansas, new equipment is ready now at Lang Diesel Incorporated. From Massey Ferguson tractors built for straightforward, dependable performance to Fendt machines engineered for next-level efficiency, it's all here. With 10 locations, Lang Diesel makes it easy to get the equipment, parts, and support you need fast. Visit Lang Diesel Incorporated today. Find your nearest location at ldi.us. Lang Diesel, your Kansas Fendt dealer for over 35 years.
See the latest promotions and special events online at kgso.com. This is Wichita's sports station.
I know we haven't even made it to hour number 2 of the show yet. We're still before 7 o'clock. But look, if you get up early, you know your stomach starts kind of growling a little early. And you're looking for a great lunch. Well, on a, 103, 105 degree day like we're going to have today, there'd be nothing better than to go see our friends at Doc Greens. Eat healthy. Don't feel bloated after lunch and all tired and worn out in this heat. Doc Greens will take care of you. You'll get full. when you have one of their great salads, about any kind of salad you can have. And by the way, don't worry about the lettuce and all that. Doc Greens takes special care of all of their products to make sure that they're safe before they go out to the public. So they'll take good care of you. They've got wraps, they've got sandwiches, entree options. They've got some of the healthy juices that are made out of both fruits and vegetables. So get by and see our friends at Doc Green, Central and Hillside, New Market Square, or in the waterfront. 3 locations here in Wichita. Devin and his crew, man, they are absolutely the best. Stop by and see him. Tell him you heard about him this morning on KGSO and the game plan. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to continue with our preview of Big 12 football. And I'm trying to kind of look to see here that I think our next 3 teams that we will cover will be KU. I'm going to go TCU and probably Arizona on our next 3 that we'll cover. We're kind of trying to put these teams in somewhat of an order of how we think they're going to finish in this conference. Although I was telling you during the break, somebody's going to be way wrong, and it might be me, it might be us in our previews here, because I saw some rankings yesterday where people have come out and kind of ranked the Big 12 conference. One of them that I saw had Iowa State at the bottom and Oklahoma State like 6th, where I tend to think Oklahoma State will finish more towards the bottom of the conference. Sorry.
Well, if the media gets a pass, they don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Then nobody else's list should be taken that seriously.
I wouldn't think. No.
So we kind of get a pass because, the Big 12 media people won't do it because of how wrong they were.
Okay, they were wrong one time after conference realignment on Arizona
State.
State.
They got their feelings hurt.
Jeez. Come on, media. Come on. So we were talking about this story prior to the show starting, and I'm sure a lot of you listening have already heard about this, but if not, this is absolutely just crazy. So a high school football player in Arkansas practiced for nearly an hour, James, with a 2-foot cottonmouth snake inside of his helmet. Now, this wasn't a pet. He didn't bring it. It crawled into his helmet at some point.
Wasn't the mascot? Wasn't
I don't know if they're the Vipers or not, but cottonmouths, by the way, for people that don't know much about snakes, in the Arkansas area are the second most venomous snake in Arkansas, behind the timber rattler. I'm trying to figure out, first of all, I know that, in Arkansas there's a lot of natural habitat and some schools are probably built in some of the hills and stuff. But where the hell are you practicing that where a cottonmouth is crawling into your helmet while it's laying on the ground?
How do you not feel when you pick up the helmet?
This thing was wrapped so tight inside this helmet that the folks they called to come and remove it had to fill the helmet full of water to get the snake to move and get out of the helmet.
So he had to have been inside of the plastic.
Or in the padding. Yeah, it was in there.
Well, that little layer between the outside of the helmet and the inside. I don't know how the hell a 2-foot snake would be able to. I mean, I know they can squeeze into small holes, but that's pushing its limits.
This dude's very, very fortunate that this snake didn't bite him on the head. That could have been bad.
Could have died. Could have died.
Yeah. and they said that he had the helmet on for nearly an hour.
I think we need more information. Was this guy a linebacker? Was he a bench warmer?
I don't know.
Was he a special teamer? I mean, we need to know a little bit of the backstory to kind of understand maybe a little bit more of why or how this happened.
Well, I think that, you for sure need to come up with some, I don't know, some kind of signs or something that you can put up in your stadium.
Beware of snakes.
Our players are so mean, we'll take on vipers. I don't know, something.
That's crazy. 2 foot snakes are around 2 pounds. Or sorry.
That's
not right.
I've picked up a few snakes in my life, none of them that are poisonous. Most of it's just like bull snakes or whatever. But I would think a 2-foot snake. I can't believe you didn't pick up your helmet and go, how come my helmet weighs so much more?
They're saying that maybe a 2-foot snake is like 1 pound to 2 pounds in total weight.
That's still a lot inside of a helmet.
Right. It's still in a small area.
Right.
If you pick it up from your face mask, you should be able to feel, oh, hey, that's a little heavier than normal. I don't know. Anytime that our football coach didn't like us putting helmets on the ground to begin with. It's kind of disrespectful. But anytime that I would put my helmet on, you always give it a little shake. Just a little one. Takes you a second to do it, and then you put it on.
Been so long since I put on a helmet that I don't know.
I've always done that anytime I put my helmet on.
Says the player grabbed a different helmet and continued to practice.
No PTSD, nothing.
But the coach did remind his team afterwards to check their equipment carefully every time.
That's all you can do.
For dangerous spiders or snakes. I don't think I've ever heard a story like this.
Spray the locker room.
Yeah,
I know spraying's not going to do anything for snakes, but you can't really trap snakes. You can't even game plan for snakes.
Well, here's the thing about these snakes, especially down there. Like, they're very protected. So whoever got this snake out, they transferred it and let it go in a wooded area. I mean, they didn't kill it.
Well, I don't think that was necessary anyway. But what, PETA would have came in and...
Oh, no. There's this whole, how do you say it? Herbological? I don't know if I'm saying that right. There's this whole, like
a protection.
You should check this out sometime on social media. I actually read these all the time. Like, people will take pictures of snakes that they see, and they'll put it out there and say, please identify. And then this society, whatever it is, will comment on what this snake is and whether it's poisonous or not. And it's kind of interesting, dude. Like, I didn't realize there were so many different species of snakes and colors and sizes that
I don't mess with snakes.
And there's like these different sayings about like coral snakes, like the color pattern, if they
right,
are poisonous or not.
If the orange is touching the black, it's venomous.
Yeah, stuff like that.
If it's not, then it's fine. It's like I don't have time to look at the order of the color. If I see a snake, I'm not going near it.
I'm surprised you haven't ran into one coming in the door over here.
Don't jinx it.
It used to be about a 3 or 4 foot bull snake.
The skin was in the crack for the longest time in the sidewalk.
Yeah,
he shedded that thing.
Used to hang out right there underneath that one satellite dish.
He gone.
I don't know, man. Cottonmouth in your helmet. Like, I don't know if I'm messing with that defensive lineman or linebacker. That dude's bad.
Your latest news on KGSO.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier. Wichita State University's Technical Foundation wrapped up last night, announcing they are receiving more than a $1 million gift from the Gene Haas Foundation to help expand their National Center for Aviation Training. KSN News reports the money will be supporting the construction of their new 85,000 square foot facility that will allow WSU Tech, formerly the Wichita State University campus of Applied Science and Technology, to now train an additional 1,400 students each year in aviation and advanced manufacturing. It is part of the new youth-focused STEM space inside the facility, where it will be the hub for science, technology, engineering, and math, and will be geared towards elementary and middle school students. In other news, the city of Derby says they want to make one of their busiest areas safer for drivers, as according to law enforcement, they say the stretch on Rock Road has reported near 35 to 41% of all of the crashes that happen within the city limits for Derby.
The next step is to start looking at the signing for the corridor, doing some public outreach, talking to the public.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier.
News on KGSO is brought to you by Phil's Coins, buying, selling, and trading coins, bullion, and jewelry. It's 9344 West Central and online at philscoins.com.
Just a few more days before the Kansas City Chiefs take to the field in their first preseason game against the Rams at Arrowhead Stadium. Rashee Rice has had plenty of off-the-field issues and problems. He talked about where he is mentally right now as camp continues on.
I'm doing good mentally. I got the right group of guys around me, just good agents, good coaches, small circle on anybody else outside that's not part of the football team, just keeping my head straight and also keeping me in a positive attitude.
The Royals lose last night in 10 innings, 5-4 to the Dodgers. Those two teams wrap up the series tonight. That's sports. I'm Doug Downs. Sports Report brought to you by Burwell Construction. Decks, pergolas, patio covers, roofing, siding, windows, guttering, and more. 316-794-3430. Or online at burwellconstruction.com.
Wichita Wind Surge Baseball is back at Equity Bank Park. Bring your friends, bring the family, and enjoy an exciting night of baseball right here in Wichita. From big hits to family-friendly promotions and special theme nights, there's always something happening at the ballpark. For the full schedule of upcoming events, follow us on Facebook at Wichita Wind Surge or visit us online at windsurge.com. Wichita Wind Surge Baseball. Don't miss the action at Equity Bank Park.
Tricked out, decked out, check us out, Truck Stuff.
You've probably already heard that Truck Stuff is the place to go to lift, level, or lower your truck. And of course, we have an enormous in-stock selection of bed covers, running boards, and floor mats. But did you know that we do wheels and tires, gear swaps, and spray and bed liners? Stop by today to deck out your ride at Truck Stuff at the corner of Central and Washington.
Tricked out, decked out, check us out, Truck Stuff.
My teenage son only has one brain, and it'll keep developing through his mid-20s. But if he uses e-cigarettes, the nicotine in them can impact attention, learning, and memory, and can prime the brain for addiction. So I've talked to him about staying away from e-cigarettes, because my son only has one brain.
Learn more at cdc.gov/e-cigarettes today. A message from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and this station.
Ag News from the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm James Guerin. As Kansas soybeans reach critical pod fill stages, K-State Extension entomologists urge growers to scout fields for bean leaf beetles and soybean podworms. These late-season pests actively target pod tissue and developing seeds, leaving fields vulnerable to pod clipping, fungal rot, and yield loss. K-State crop entomologist Jet Whitworth tells us these pests aren't quite out in the fields yet, but they are coming.
Well, we're going to. I've been getting a lot of questions as... Actually, a lot of the sorghum is in the whorl stage. The worms that cause ragworm on sorghum and can get in corn, in another 2 weeks, they'll be transitioning out and they'll be flying over looking for soybeans to lay eggs on. So that's the pod worms. They can be corn earworms. They can be army worms. They can be fall army worms. Any of these kind of worms that actually get in soybeans and feed on the pods are just generally called podworms. But right now, what most folks are worried about are bean leaf beetles. As the soybeans come into August, generally the agronomist has always told us August is the time when you make yield, so you want timely rains, you want to keep the pests off, all that kind of stuff. And there's been quite a bit of spraying going on, or pesticide applications in soybeans in the last week or so for fungicides. A lot of the growers are asking if they put a little insecticide in with the fungicide, because it saves an application cost if they mix them together and just do one, if that's a good idea. And that will help get rid of podworms. That will help get rid of, any pests that are potentially out in the soybean fields. But my recommendation is don't do it. We generally only recommend treating with a herbicide or an insecticide or whatever when it is needed, when it is called for.
Ag News from the Mid-America Ag Network.
A warm start to the day today across south central Kansas, with overnight lows only dropping to about 80 degrees. As we get into the afternoon, way up there again. 106 going to be the high. Could feel like 110 because of the humidity. Wind will be out of the southwest, 10 to 15, gust to about 25. Tonight, we're mostly starry. Lows dropping to 82 by morning. That south wind persisting. For your day on Thursday, a little breezy and bright, and highs back near 106. In the Cape First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Frank Waugh.
At 7 o'clock, it's currently 78
this
degrees.
Is Wichita's sports station, K230BY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO Belle Plaine, Wichita. Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita. This is The Game Plan on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Here we go. It is hour number 2 of the game plan. Welcome in to the Renewal by Anderson Studios. Renewal by Anderson. Installation done right on schedule. Doug and James hanging out with you on Wichita's number 1 sports talk, KGSO. 1410 AM, 93.9 FM, live streaming up on our website at kgso.com. Find us through our app. You get that in the App Store with a simple search, SC Wichita. That's how you find 4 stations for the price of none and download those from Steckline Communications. Also, we're live streaming up on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch TV. Watch, listen, leave comments for the show. Carl Hassard up with a comment. Kobe Bryant, former KU safety, now with Chicago, has surgery on his left knee and may be out 4 months of the season. It's required. Okay. Anyway, and then he talked about where Arkansas was at. So I guess that's some useful information as we get ready to break down 3 more teams in the Big 12, with the Kansas Jayhawks being one of them. But I want to start with TCU. And we've been doing this all week long. We kind of started, not necessarily in order, but maybe where we thought teams were going to finish in the Big 12. And so we started out with Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Utah. We've talked about Iowa State, Colorado, and Central Florida. And now we are on today to discuss TCU, Kansas, Arizona. We also talked about Baylor a little bit. Not to put any of these teams in a particular order, but maybe about where we think they're going to be in the Big 12. And I think these 3 teams have a chance. But these 3 teams have a chance to be really good or to finish mid-pack or below, depending on how things worked out for them after a pretty good recruiting year.
I think KU has a little bit of excitement just for Dylan Edwards. I think that he can actually be that game changer on offense that they've been waiting to have. And it kind of sucks that it came a year too late when they had Daniels there, because he was obviously the best quarterback that KU has had in a 5-year window. And now the giant question mark is that quarterback position, and that's gonna be the difference between a 500 team and a below 500 team. I know Cole Ballard has kind of been in the works, but it looks like they may be leaning towards Isaiah Marshall as of right now. And that's I don't have much of a takeaway from that.
I think they're good either way. And I think you'll see both of them on the field this year.
You think they'll use that 2-quarterback system?
I don't know if it's going to be necessarily like a true dual quarterback system, but I think that they will definitely have packages for both of them from the quarterback spot. You may see one or both of these guys at a point in time in the game line up as a slot man or somebody like that, something like that.
I mean, Marshall's got to be the more elusive one, right?
He is, and he was more of the highly recruited one out of high school. You know, there was fear over the last couple of seasons, especially last year when Daniels said that he was going to come back for his 5th, 6th, 7th season, whatever it was, that Isaiah Marshall may transfer out, because I know there were some teams that were interested in him. So the fact that he stuck around, I think says a lot for not only him, but for what this KU program is going to be. I think Yasin Willis, or Yasan Willis, however you say his first name, out of Syracuse, is going to be their featured running back. He's a pounder. He's fast. He's 6'1", 235 pounds. They did go out, according to everything I've read, and inside the transfer portal, they did go out and get more beefier, physical offensive and defensive linemen, which is something they've kind of missed. So I think if they can run the football, that this is going to be a pretty good offense for Kansas.
Yeah, I'm seeing they got 3 new offensive linemen. The center, the right guard, and the right tackle are all new. Yasin is a junior, so unless he decides to leave, then yeah, he is in line to be the starter next year. Because I know Dylan Edwards is a junior, but I don't think many are expecting him to come back for another year and play college. I think he may be on that path to possibly enter early, because I think that running back spot is kind of wide open right now. in terms of who's the best running back in the country. I know Hardy's going to be high on a lot of lists for Missouri, and I know Isaac Brown for Louisville. He'll be up there as well. But you know, the depth is still unknown. We don't know who the rest of the crowd is going to be, and Dylan Edwards can absolutely fit into that crowd of the best running backs entering the draft next year. So he could have another down year, in my opinion. I still think he's going to be highly looked at.
There's one thing for Kansas that I think is a huge, huge difference maker this season, and that is getting back Andy Kolonicki as their offensive coordinator. And I probably butchered his last name, but this is a guy that when he was there at Kansas, this offense was very efficient. And then he leaves and he goes to Penn State and joins that staff. And then obviously Matt Campbell gets the job. And he's opened up again and comes back to Kansas. I think that's a huge, huge deal for this KU offense and the way it's going to operate. So I like this Kansas team. I think this Kansas team has a chance to be right there kind of mid-pack of the Big 12. I don't think they're going to finish at the bottom of it like a lot of people are projecting. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see this be a 8-win team. Schedule is pretty tough, but
I think the floor for them has to be 6 wins. I think they have to go back to the bowl.
You can't do 5-7 again.
But I'm just glancing down to see where they got these guys from. Carpenter was from, it just went away. Oklahoma State and Tulsa. They did bring in an offensive lineman from Texas, Connor Stroh, and then their right tackle is from Cal. So I mean, they're still plucking guys from other power conferences. They're not going down and trying to find talent for guys that are trying to go out and prove themselves. So I mean, they're getting guys from conferences that are legit. So yeah, they're new names. We don't really know much about them, but you know, they should be able to fit right in with the speed of the game with no issue.
And look, whether we want to admit this or not, it is a big deal now, but this program does have money. They're not short on funds at Kansas. They got a $330 million donation from David Booth. Not just the football team, but the university did. And how they distribute that money, I don't know. But they're not short on funds. So that's why they're able to go to these other Power 4 conferences and pluck some guys away.
I also don't love when teams put their starting running back as their kick returner. I don't like that. You're telling me you can't find one other person, and that was. And I'm not going to say that was why Dylan Edwards missed last year, but that punt return, we all remember it. And then he didn't come back in the rest of the year.
The crazy thing about that play is that he didn't stay down on the field. He didn't get hit real hard. That's what was so weird about that with him. I think there are other things that went on behind the scenes that we just don't know about with Dylan Edwards in Kansas State. Because, look, if you know Colin Klein's coming in, he was the guy that was recruiting you when you were at Derby. It's not like you didn't know Colin Klein and you just left because a new coach is coming in.
Right.
So we'll see what this Kansas Jayhawk team can do. But I do like this team a lot. I think they're going to be much improved. I think you're going to see a team that is going to be bigger, stronger, faster. The 2-quarterback system kind of worries me a little bit if they do play a true quarterback system. I've never been a big fan of that. And I think for Lance Leipold, he's probably going to figure out real early whether or not he can make that work. I heard him during Big 12 Media Days, and he said both these guys are so talented that it's hard to keep them off the field. But this schedule's not easy, man. I mean, you've got Missouri as a non-con game. It is in Lawrence. You've got to go across the pond to London and play Arizona State, Utah, at Kansas State back-to-back, at Fort Worth on October the 31st. Got to go to Morgantown this year. You got to go to Stillwater. You have BYU on the schedule. It's a tough schedule.
And also Nick McMillan, their new receiver from Buffalo, he's going to have to be that guy.
Yeah.
The last 6 games of the season last year, he had over 100 yards in every one of them. There was only a few games where he kind of disappeared, and that may be kind of his glaring negative trait about him is when he isn't involved, he disappears. But when he is involved, good luck trying to stop him. He only had 3 touchdowns last year, which you may have wanted to see a little bit more of that, but the guy ended up with almost 1,000 yards, 60 catches. I mean, the guy is more than capable of playing, and standing at 6'1", I think he's got enough size to be that true number 1 for KU. They're going to have to find someone that they can go to on third down, and right now, outside of him, I'm not really sure who that would be.
You know what, though, and I'm going to say something that might shock a few KU fans. I think both of these guys, Marshall and Ballard, I actually think they throw the ball better than Daniel. Because Daniel, as soon as he felt trouble, he just wanted to take off and run. Yeah. Where these guys, they'll continue on with the play until they feel like they can't. So I like both of these guys as passers. For KU to get 8 wins, look, they play Long Island to start out. They'll win that game. Then they have a night game, national televised on Fox against Missouri. Obviously, big rivalry. And look, I'm never going to root for Dorkowitz at Missouri. Did you hear what he said, by the way?
Yeah, I've been keeping tabs.
You heard what he said about the Chiefs?
Oh, he's taking stabs at the pros now?
Yeah, he basically said, look, and I'm paraphrasing, but they're traitors. They're leaving Missouri. They're going to Kansas. We're the only true Missouri football team. You should get behind us.
I think he's just trying to find any way to rile up KU fans. Any way possible. Coming at you at all directions.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I think KU beats Missouri. I don't know much about Arizona State, so it's kind of hard for me to pick that, and it's in London. Middle Tennessee, they'll win. At Utah, it's probably going to be tough. At Kansas State, it'll be tough. I think they beat Baylor. At TCU, could be tough. I think they beat Central Florida. I think they get a win on the road at West Virginia. BYU will be tough, even though it's at home. And then I think they get a win at Oklahoma State. So if you do that, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So seven wins. 8 if you count Long Island. Is on my radar.
So are we saying their ceiling is 8-4 and their floor is 5-7?
Probably.
I can get behind that.
Injuries are going to be a big deal. There's no doubt. TCU, a team that just played the national championship not that long ago, got embarrassed in that game. I wonder how much that game set this program back, because they really haven't done anything since. And I thought Sonny Dykes, being the coach that he is, that this would be a consistent program that you had to deal with in the Big 12. But it just hasn't been that. They lose Hoover, their quarterback, to Indiana, which I think is going to be a big, big drop-off for Indiana. But they bring in Jaden Craig from Harvard to be their quarterback.
He had some decent numbers at Harvard. I remember looking up his stats. He wasn't a bad quarterback.
No, not at all. I don't know. Obviously, he's a smart young man.
Yeah.
And maybe he decided that, he didn't want to be a lawyer. I don't know. But, yeah, so Jaden Craig is going to be the starting quarterback for TCU. I think this is a bounce-back year for TCU. I think it's a year that they've got to get back to winning 7, 8 games, 9 games. I know they did very good in the transfer portal. But, look, TCU is kind of that team in Texas. They're a little bit like Baylor to the point where they're just kind of there. People aren't really talking about them. Obviously, you hear about Texas and you hear about A&M. Tech's getting a lot of noise because of the money. So, I don't know. And you got Houston on the rise, which I think is going to be very good. So, I don't know from a recruiting standpoint within their own state where TCU stacks up.
I mean, you can't imagine that they're middle to above. I mean, you have to imagine that they're in the bottom part of these Texas the hierarchy, right? In terms of how often these recruits actually consider TCU versus the other ones. There's not a whole lot for me to write home about in terms of their transfers. They brought in Jacob Fields from Louisiana Tech. He had 3 interceptions last season. He can get behind the line of scrimmage. Does have a few couple tackle for losses as a safety. All right, that's a good sign. He's a north-south kind of a defender. Okay, that could be something to build off of. Their new middle linebacker, Michael Short, he came over from Virginia Tech. He didn't play a whole lot last year, had 21 total tackles and a sack, so it'll be a learning progress for him too. And then their new receiver out of South Alabama, Jeremy Scott. Again, limited playing time, but he's only a sophomore, so he has the chance to stay for a couple more years. Then they only have one new offensive lineman, senior from Oklahoma State. So I there isn't anything on here that's going to make me say, wow, like they did the right moves. I do believe that this team won't be as good as they were a year ago. I think they fall off a little bit. And I don't think it's because of, the quarterback position, but I do think that Hoover did carry this team a little bit more than I think we give him credit for.
But he also made a lot of mistakes.
He did make a lot of mistakes, yes. He threw a lot of interceptions, but I would rather have a guy who's willing to take those shots, than someone who's complacent with taking the underneath ball. And I know that that's probably the smarter play, but to show that you're aggressive and you don't care about turning the ball over, I mean, that stuff can be coached. That stuff can be fixed. Throwing it short all the time, that's a tendency. I don't know if you can really coach someone to throw the ball deeper. They just have to do it. So I think they'll be right around the 500 mark. They'll win some games at home simply because they're at home. Not because they're a better team, but just because of the nature of playing at home. So I don't think that. I think this team finishes above KU, but I don't see this team, being a huge threat to the rest of the conference.
If they're a 500 football team, does that put Sonny Dykes on the hot seat as their coach? I mean, can you afford, if you're TCU, if you're a team in Texas, to sit back and constantly be the fifth choice in the state?
Maybe they view it from just the Big 12 side and they're number 2. Because
maybe three.
They
may be behind Houston.
No, they know they don't view themselves behind Houston. As from a historic standpoint, no.
Maybe not from a historic standpoint, but this year,
but a
could
recent
be
standpoint, yeah, maybe.
They've got obviously the Dublin, Ireland game with North Carolina to start things out week 0. Grambling State, Arkansas State, Central Florida to start Big 12 play. They get BYU at home, so that's good. They have to go to Waco. They get Kansas at home. They get Kansas State at home. They get Utah at home. They have to go to Lubbock. Not a terrible schedule for them in the conference. And then our final team to break down today, the Arizona Wildcats. Talk about a team that I don't know a lot about. Brett Brennan, their coach in his 3rd season, probably has to do something with this team. Their quarterback, is it Fifta or Fifta?
It's Fafita.
Fafita. Okay. Noah Fafita. The one thing I guess I do like about Arizona is it looks like they've had their quarterback now in their system for a few years.
I'm shocked he's still there.
I had to look him up.
Well,
so
he was there.
Like
he was
really
there 2 years ago with McMillan,
right?
And they were unbelievable together. But I think McMillan may have made Fafita look a little bit better than I think he deserves his credit for. But yeah, he's kind of like the only bright spot offensively for them. We were all waiting for him to kind of take that next step last year, but when you don't have a top 10 NFL wide receiver, on your side, things get a little bit more difficult, and they found that reality pretty quick last year. It was a down year. I personally thought that Fafita was going to leave after last season and try and go somewhere that had better talent around him. But there was a huge drop-off from this team from 2 years ago to last year, and that's not something that I feel entirely confident about them going back to what they were 2 years ago. I don't think they will. They didn't bring in many transfers to be starting, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They brought in a new center, Zach Henning, and he's from Washington. And then they got a new tight end in Cole Rusk, who's a senior as well, who came over from Illinois. And he didn't play a whole lot last year. So there's just a ton of inexperience on this team. I think this team can get blown out in a few games. But I don't feel nearly the same kind of confidence with this team that I even do with Kansas. Like, there's a whole lot of uncertainty here, and I don't know if Fafita can be that guy to rally some wins together.
It's been so hard for me to accept and root for Arizona or Arizona State in Big 12 football or even Big 12 sports. Like, they just seem like they're still not a part of this conference to me, and I don't know why. And even though Arizona State, and they were fun to watch with Scattaboo and stuff a couple of years ago, I didn't find myself, though, sitting back and going, boy, come on, Arizona State. You know, like, it just – and maybe it's just because I've lived here all my life and, you know, the Big 12 was certain teams. It's just tough for me to get excited and say, I hope Arizona has a great season this year, you know? It really is. Like, it wouldn't bother me if they ended up in last place in the conference.
Yeah, they haven't really, I mean, on the football side, they haven't really been a force. They haven't, you know, ticked off a bunch of fans or whatever. They're just kind of there, right? And I don't think that's going to change this season at all. I think Brent Brennan's been a nice addition for their program, but I think he bought himself at least 5 years with how year one went.
Yeah, well, he also inherited a pretty good team. You would think in Arizona they've got to have money, right? Like, the boosters have to probably be pretty big.
But what? For what? For what? How do we come up to that assumption?
I don't know. I'm just thinking in Tucson, Arizona, like, it's a pretty nice area. I'm sure that they have a lot of celebrity alumni.
I would think Arizona State has more of that than
Arizona. Maybe just because they're closer to Phoenix. But yeah, I just don't know much about
what they
Arizona,
say,
and honestly, I don't know if I really want to know much.
You know
about
what
Arizona.
they say about Arizona. You know, Utah right above it, but they would say, you know, the crazy ones would go to ASU, and then the level-headed ones would go to Arizona.
I'm just looking up here and see if I can find any famous. Who do they have
outside of Gronk?
Yeah, outside of Gronk. Humberto Lopez, a high-profile donor involved with Arizona athletics for over 40 years, gained national attention for his active role in NIL funding and player retention. All right. Boy, maybe they don't have as many famous boosters as I thought. Maybe they do need to rely on Gronk to give some of his game checks to him that he never spent while he was playing. Huh.
Or have him go on recruiting trips.
Yeah, exactly. Well, could you imagine Gronk sitting down in your living room with your parents? First thing he'd ask is, got a beer? Devin says, I think Daniel was the reason for their lack of success last year, talking about Kansas.
Be careful how you say that, Devin. Because depending on how this year goes, you might be looking at a picture of Daniel in your bed with around the frame, you know, the Wolverine meme where he's looking at it and reminiscing. Just be careful, Devin.
Maybe. All right, our breakdown of three more teams in the Big 12. Your comments, 522-1410. Be a part of the show.
This portion of the game plan brought to you by Southwestern Remodeling, Wichita's full-line remodeler since 1970. See our project galleries at southwesternremodeling.com.
The game plan. KGS Law.
40 to the 30. The Burgers are on.
High school football is almost here. And your one-stop source for all your high school football is your High School Football Guide from the Mid-America Sports Network. Stay tuned in and hear where you can pick up your copy. Catch each team's season schedule, read about each team and coach, and follow your favorite team all season long. It's the Mid-America Sports Network Football Guide, and it's coming to a location near you.
Are you in need of a new dentist? Check out 316 Dental at 13th and West Street. 316 Dental is now offering same-day services with the addition of a second dentist. That's right, same day. The hardworking team includes 4 hygienists and stays open late to fit your schedule. 316 Dental accepts most major insurance companies. Ask them about their new patient special that includes a comprehensive exam and x-rays. They also offer implants and Invisalign.
That soars above and beyond the 316 Dental.
Where'd you get that grin? Right above your chin. You know the place. Puts a smile on your face. Andy's the one for frozen custard fun. Made fresh every hour. It's your happy power. Top your day. With a smile at Andy's.
Did you know my frozen custard is made fresh every hour? Or that our toppings are baked daily right in our stores? It's how we top your day with a smile at Andy's.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
Right now, Rusty at Ford is making it easier than ever to save. Get 2.9% financing for 84 months plus a $1,000 rebate on all 2026 F-150s. With dealer discounts and 2 years maintenance on us, now's the perfect time to drive home in a new truck. Looking for something else? We have 500 new and used vehicles to choose from. And don't forget, we'll give you up to $5,000 over KBB for your trade. Visit rustyatford.com. Simply the best place to buy. With approved credit, 2 years or 25,000 miles maintenance. See dealer for details. Raptor's not included.
Test drive a Grasshopper mower at Maximum Outdoor Equipment and Service. Grasshopper mowers offer decks with powerful and reliable operation, unmatched comfort, and a legendary cut that leaves your lawn smooth and manicured every time. Grasshopper mowers, committed to the cut. Visit Maximum Outdoor Equipment, south of 21st and Andover Road, or south of Kellogg on West Street, or MaximumOutdoor.com. We know mowers.
Maximum Outdoor Equipment.
Hi, this is Blake Davis with Davis Liquor Outlet. We're so proud to still be serving Wichita after 50 years and 3 generations. Let us be your local one-stop shop for adult beverages and more. Whether you're looking for wine and beer, your favorite spirit, or snacks, party supplies, and more, we've got what you need. And don't forget all the ways you can save. Score 20% off wine and liquor when you buy by the case. Seniors, veterans, and active military can save 10% every day. Davis Liquor Outlet, each store independently owned and operated. Neighborhood locations with superstore pricing.
KGSO Studio, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Expert installation done right. Right on schedule. Find them online at renewalbyanderson.com. Colin Cowherd, John Stugatz. This is Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
That's right. It's Wichita's number one for sports talk, KGSO. 522-1410, Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotlines. I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now. If you call the show, I'm going to set you up with 4 free frozen custards from Andy's Frozen Custard. 522-1410 is the phone number. 4 locations for Andy's Frozen Custard. Brand new one is on South Rock Road in Derby. That frozen custard made fresh in the store every single hour. Baked goods every single day. The best toppings and ingredients you'll find anywhere on concretes, jackhammers, waffle cones, you name it. They have it all at Andy's Frozen Custard. Over 40 years of doing business, and they are in and around the Wichita area. So 522-1410, get you some free frozen custard. All right, let me do this real quick, and let me get to here. Hi, good morning. Welcome to the game plan.
Yes, I was this is Bill, and I was signing up for the custard for Andy's.
Yeah, Phil, give me your first initial of your last name.
M. Bill
Phil.
M.
All right. Come by here, and Miss Denise will have your certificates. Go by any of the Andy's locations, and you get 4 free custards on us.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Let's get back to the phones here. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the game plan.
How are you, Good morning, Double D. How's everything going here? Back at it like a jackrabbit.
It is our Bayou Buddy. What are you doing, my friend?
Live and direct, man. Just hanging out right now. About to get back on the grind, and it's a beautiful day, man. Beautiful day to be great. And guess what? We got 6 preseason football games tomorrow on the docket, Double D.
Wow. You know what's crazy about these preseason games, though, is sometimes it's difficult to figure out how to watch them, and some of them are just regional, so you don't get to see everybody.
Right, correct. You know what I'm looking forward to? Just, the guys battling for positions on the roster spot and all, and that's going to be exciting to see. But, look, I'll leave you at that. A short call here. I'll talk back at you. I'll holler back tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care. Who dat?
All right. See ya. There he goes. Our Bayou buddy with a quick one. Yeah, and I don't get into preseason football that much. I will admit I watched more of the Hall of Fame game than I probably have in a long time. But I'm just not really that big into preseason NFL football. What do we have here for tomorrow? We've got Detroit, Cincinnati, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, New England, Arizona Raiders, Chargers, and Texans, and the Titans and the 49ers. You've got 2 on the NFL Network and 1 on something called ESPN Unlimited. The Raiders on ESPN Unlimited, Pittsburgh, Green Bay on the NFL Network, Tennessee, San Francisco on the NFL Network. And then you got 3 games on Friday and a slew of them on Saturday, including Kansas City and the Chargers at 3 o'clock. I can't believe there's an over and under and a line on these games. It's going to be interesting to see what Kansas City does. I got to think you're not going to see, even though Andy Reid does like to play starters, you're not going to see Mahomes at all in the preseason. That's not going to happen. I don't know how much you're going to see Kelsey. You will get a chance to see Emmett Johnson, probably get a chance to see Kenneth Walker for a few plays. But Mahomes, you're not going to see him in the I would be shocked if you see him in any preseason games. And I know Andy Reid will come out and say stuff. He does this every year, where he comes out and he says, well, we're probably going to play the starters for about a quarter, and then you get 1 series out of them. So he's very big on the overpromise, under-deliver. But outside of that, it'll be ho-hum in preseason football. Probably won't watch a ton of them. What do you think about Kyler Murray being named as the starter over J.J. McCarthy? If you're J.J. McCarthy, you win a national championship at Michigan, you got everybody buzzing about you, and then you come into the NFL, you've had opportunities, get hurt. You're with Kevin O'Connell, who some people, including me, think is one of the best coaches in the NFL for quarterbacks and developing them. And now Kyler Murray comes in and takes your job. And I know a lot of you think Kyler Murray is going to have a great season. Look, I don't have anything against Kyler Murray. I'm not going to wish that he doesn't have a good season by no means, because honestly, I don't really care one way or another about the Vikings or whether Kyler Murray has a great season. It's just, if history has told me anything, I don't know how a undersized quarterback who has not had great success so far in the NFL is going to go to a brand new team and all of a sudden be, mentioned as an MVP candidate. Might be totally surprised, though. I mean, Sam Darnold saw ghost a few years back with the Jets, and now he's a Super Bowl champ. So who knows? It might happen. Kirk Cousins, when he was with Minnesota, kind of his career was reborn. Speaking of Kirk Cousins, I'm hearing more and more, too. I don't think this is going to happen, but I am hearing more and more and seeing more and more that Fernando Mendoza may end up being the starting quarterback for the Raiders. I hope not, for that kid's sake. I think a year where he kind of sits and learns a little bit more, especially on a team that's not expected to be that great, is the better way of going. But I saw again this morning, and again, you can't always believe what you see, especially across social media, but I saw again this morning that he may be the starter for the Raiders when they open up. We'll certainly get to see him in preseason, but I don't think he's going to be the starter in week 1. That's kind of been a little bit of a you-know-what show in Las Vegas with Max Crosby and Kirk Cousins. Have you heard about this drama that's going on? So Max Crosby, I mean, I think everybody listening that understands the NFL knows that Max Crosby is just a crazy wild man, right? And a guy like that, you don't dial him down in practice. I don't even know if you want to dial him down in practice. Like, you want him to come hard every play. And apparently he has he's kind of knocked Kirk Cousins around a little bit. And Cousins is not happy about it and actually got in Crosby's face. A little scuffle started, which I give Cousins all the credit in the world, dude. If you're going after Max Crosby, like, you got some guts. Coaches have kind of played it off. Ownership has kind of played it off. That it's not a big deal. This is the stuff that happens during NFL training camps. They did kind of come down on Crosby and say, "Look, you can't be hitting our quarterbacks." But I'm sure that for a guy like Max Crosby, that went in one ear and out the other. Like, he's like, "What do you want me to do? I'm not going to dial it down." So a little drama going on with the Raiders in training camp. We've had a lot of fights. We talked about this yesterday. We've had a lot of fights in training camp this year. And I do have to wonder, I wonder how much of this has come from the fact that now you've got millionaires that are coming in to these leagues as rookies. You don't have guys that are coming in humbled like they once were. They've been told pretty much their entire life how great they are. It got proven to them by the amount of money that they made in college. And you just wonder how much of that is spilling over. I was listening to LeVar Arrington talk about when he was a rookie in the NFL. And even though he came in as one of the top guys in the draft, a guy that, you know, a lot of people feared based off of how he played, he still talked about the fact that at the end of the practice, the rookies carried the equipment in. They had to clean up the locker room. They had to do the things that rookies do. And even though he felt like himself as a so-called superstar coming into the league shouldn't have to do it, he did it. And if that kind of stuff is still going on in some of these camps, how are some of these rookies that are coming in now as superstars, millionaires, how are they handling those situations? It'd be interesting to see. If you listen to Colin Cowherd, he'll tell you that the Chicago Bears, after going to one of their practices, is the best team in football. And that Caleb Williams is going to come in and take this league by storm. He's thinned down. He's running faster, which I think Caleb Williams is going to be very good and have a chance at maybe even being part of the MVP talk before the season's over. But it would be interesting to go to one of these practices and just see how some of these rookies are handling themselves. Again, because based off the fact that they're not as humbled as they once were coming into this league. It's more of an attitude of, you guys are fortunate to have me, I'm not fortunate to have you type situation. When we come back, James will rejoin the show. He had to step away for a segment. But when we come back, speaking of NIL, there's a story that circulated today. Again, kind of a head shaker, that we've actually have to go to the point that we have in controlling NIL. We'll talk about it next.
This segment of the game plan is brought to you by Moneytown Pawn on Oliver, just south of Pawnee. Tools, electronics, firearms, jewelry, and more. Find what you need at Moneytown Pawn.
The game plan. KGSO.
The wait is officially over. The NFL is back on Sports USA. Every hit matters, and every play sets the tone.
He's going to throw. He's got a man all alone at the 20. Caught. 10, 5,
Touchdown, Denver. Cortland Sutton.
It's where the rookies fight for their spot and the veterans stake their claim. This Friday, it's the Denver Broncos at the Atlanta Falcons on your home for the NFL, Sports USA.
Pre-game Friday at 5:30 right here on Wichita Sports Station, KGSO.
Hi, this is Tyler Fee with Fee Insurance Group here in Wichita. To be a business owner in and around Wichita takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and most importantly, passion. Being protected can help give you peace of mind. Fee Insurance understands all your sacrifice, and we are passionate about helping Kansas businesses protect everything you have built. The Fee Insurance name and legacy is at the center of everything we do. Guiding you through the risk of owning a business, you can count on Fee Insurance. Find us at feeinsurance.com. Fee Insurance, forward together.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you.
If the week's been too hectic to even think about dinner, or your family can't handle one more night of leftovers, then it's time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal. Here's Josh Nicolette, Hog Wild partner and general manager at Harry and Rock Road.
When you stop by for a Hog Wild family pack, we'll send you home with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family a complete meal. And best of all, family packs are priced right to feed groups of 4, 8, 12, or 16 people.
Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 6 locations in Wichita, also in Derby, El Dorado, Hutchinson, and Salina.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you. But don't be late, we close at 8.
Burwell Construction has been a trusted name in the roofing business as a local company. Whether you're still trying to get a new roof from storms or have general wear and tear, call Burwell Construction at 316-794-3430. Burwell Construction will evaluate your roof and work with you from start to finish, even help with any insurance claims. Join the thousands of others and trust your next roof to Burwell Construction. 316-794-3430 or burwellconstruction.com.
Built well, it's Burwell. Burwell Construction.
My name is Chance English. I'm the CEO of English Trash Service. We offer reliable, personalized service and are new to the Wichita area. We believe we can do it better. With so many other companies, the service goes down while the pricing goes up. We saw a need for reliability and customer service in the local trash market. If price is a factor, we can help there too. We offer competitive rates and the quality of service that you deserve. Give us a try by visiting our website at english-rentals.com. That's english-rentals.com.
Pride Ag Ace Hardware will get you ready for the lake now that summer is officially here. Start with the grill. Whether you need gas, pellet, or flat tops, Pride Ag has it all with top brands like Halo and Napoleon. Whichever one you choose, Meat Church Rubs exclusively at Ace will make your meat delicious. With the meat on the grill, keep your drinks cool with Yeti cooler and cups and entertain the whole party with the Turtle Box speaker. Get everything you need to have fun at the lake this summer at Pride Ag Ace Hardware in Mays. 5204 North Mays Road.
Wichita's home for sports talk, going 20 years strong. This is KGSO.
I tell you what, if you've got a fescue lawn, you got to start thinking about next season already and what's going to be good for your yard. Well, the first step is to call our friends at Meadowlark Landscape and Design, 316-880-0227. That's the first step, because once you call them, they will come out, assess your yard, and tell you what you need to do from about September 1st through mid-October to get your yard ready to be healthy for next season. Maybe it needs to be aerated, maybe some dethatching, maybe overseeding. Whatever it is, the professionals at Meadowlark Landscape and Design will know, because they have the best landscapers you're going to find anywhere in the state of Kansas. So, to ensure that your yard looks great next year, 316-880-0227. That is the phone number. I know for a lot of you that have fescue yards, maybe right now it's looking a little brown because it's been so hot and you can't keep enough water on it. this is the time of year where it needs that special attention so it comes back great next year. As a matter of fact, here's what they're going to do at Meadowlark Landscape and Design. If you call them and it needs to be overseeded and you mention you heard me talk about them, they're going to give you 10% off that overseeding. That's a huge savings. 316-880-0227. Meadowlark Landscape and Design is the official landscape company of KGSO and Steckline Communications. So I was talking about in the last segment while you were gone, things that have been going on in training camp, and we kind of touched on this yesterday, that a lot of these rookies that come in now, they're coming in as millionaires. Maybe they're not quite as humble as they once were. We've seen a lot of fights. Trevor says, well, that's part of being in the NFL and in general part of being a professional, which I understand that. I certainly hope that some of these guys that are coming in the NFL didn't earn their NIL in a certain way that has now required the NCAA and the FBI to announce a partnership. You told me about this story before the show. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Apparently, this has maybe been a trend. I don't know. It's the first I've heard about it.
Of them doing this or of this stuff happening?
Both.
Oh, this stuff has been happening since phones got cameras on them. This kind of activity. It's always been there. But now it's gotten to a point where, and I'm just skimming through the article, there was $44 million that was spent to prevent any further exploitation. That's a lot. That's a lot of money for these people to be blackmailing student athletes into saying, give me $100,000 or these are going out. And, especially with AI, it's almost too easy to kind of replicate something that's not real into making it look real. It's gotten too far, but
depending on which direction it goes.
Yeah, this could work, but I think it would work better if they had, and I don't want to, maybe there are some former student athletes that are too embarrassed to come out and say that, yeah, this had happened to me, so I'm going to be the one that steps my foot forward and teach these young men, and maybe women too. I don't know. There could be some in there, but I think this is mainly directed towards the male student athletes. But have former players come in. I think Chad Ochocinco would be a great person. And I know that he wasn't, in that spotlight like that, but he's a very outgoing guy. He's a guy that a lot of players can connect with. And he has embraced kind of this mentor role, but have a former player come in and be the ones that coach these student athletes. Because I'm going to tell you something, if they're going to listen to someone who is in their shoes more than someone who's in a suit and a tie, or whoever the FBI brings in to do these classes or whatever, or these demonstrations. Those kids aren't going to learn as much from a guy in a suit and tie as they would from someone who did their life. So I think their point, they have to obviously address this. I mean, this is unfortunate, but it is a part of life, and there's always scumbags out there that are trying to get their money up in some way. So
if you haven't read between the lines yet on what we're talking about here, the NCAA and the FBI announced a partnership Monday to educate athletes on how to prevent private images from falling into the wrong hands. So basically, don't take pictures
of your stuff,
of your junk.
I rubbed up quite a few balls in my life.
Don't do that, because then you could be blackmailed.
And it's so easy. Just don't do it. And a lot of these student athletes, they have the money. That's why they're being targeted. So it's do young student athletes not know that, hey, you got a dollar sign attached to your name now? That's gonna have people calling you. That's gonna have people messaging you, being involved with you. That's all that is going to bring. And these guys don't understand that. They like to give the benefit of the doubt. Oh, this girl actually might feel something for me for real. And it's dude, you just have money and you're 22 years old. That's all that these women your age see. So why do you give into it? Because they don't think. They just do it.
Like, this is not something when NIL was all announced that ever crossed my mind, like that this would be a problem.
Well, you give young people money, problems happen.
Financial name, image, and likeness deals have increased the online public presence of college athletes, making them desirable victims for criminals. An FBI cyber expert said during a media call, student athletes that are taking pictures of their stuff and sending them to somebody are now being blackmailed for money. Like, this is crazy.
I mean, duh. There's scumbags out there, and they're always looking to take advantage of people that have money. It's just what they do. And there's not going to be a correct way to police this, I mean, without, invading people's privacy, but
they say that people are actually hacking in to people's accounts and getting their images off of their phones.
Right. I don't think that's every case, but I mean that is kind of the technology that we're at these days. And and if you do what you want on your own time, like, no one's saying that you shouldn't be doing X, Y, or Z, but when it gets to this point and it gets to the amount of times that it has happened, I mean, they got to eventually put a stop to it. And I don't know how exactly they're going to go on about that, but they can't make all these student athletes, say, for example, have a kind of device that the NCAA provides. Like, that would never happen.
No.
So I don't know if there's a solution. I don't know if there's a formula to make sure that this doesn't happen anymore. We just need to be smarter. Like, that's all it is. We just need to be smarter, and we need to be more focused at whatever it is that we're doing.
I mean, and I get it. This is most likely mostly men, but the article does say that there is a percentage of women that have been doing this as well.
Right, but if like you said, if they're getting their phones hacked into, because I'm pretty confident. I was in college a lot more recently than you were. I'm pretty confident that. I
mean, I don't remember a lot of guys with a Polaroid taking pictures of their stuff, but that's just me.
But
we didn't
the
have phones
mentality,
in.
like kind of the mindset is men are more susceptible to doing that than women are. Women are very private about that kind of stuff. And so if these people are going in their devices from a third party and able to find these, why do we keep them on our phone? Delete the damn thing. Why do you like looking at yourself like that?
Yeah, but you know what they tell you? Even if you delete it, it's still there. Like somebody could still find it.
Yeah, through loopholes and holes and stuff. So I mean,
or how about this? How about you just don't do that? Like, just tell yourself, you know what? That's
maybe
probably not
I think
a
maybe you
take.
might you would understand maybe a little bit more had you grown up with phones like I did. maybe it would be a little bit easier to
I wouldn't,
understand.
dude. Like, I still don't understand how somebody just, got their phone going, hey, look at here.
Well, not just that, but here's the thing, though. You could keep it anonymous like that. So when I first heard this story, my first initial thought was, are we really having guys, place the phone down below them and they're getting their face in it too? Like, what are we doing? You should have learned that in high school to not do that. I just it blows my mind.
Don't be easy to pick out in a lineup.
Right. Like, just keep it anonymous. If that's something that you must have to do to function as a human,
might get clover-dated.
Just hide your face. But these guys, they don't care. They just throw their face in it with it too, and then there's no way to deny it, right? So there's ways to be smart about it, but these student athletes obviously don't think about that.
Well, look, if you've got to strategize,
yeah, you shouldn't be doing it anyway.
You shouldn't be doing it.
But, some of these guys, they get into their own head and, things excite them. They got a bunch of money. I mean, I'll never know.
You got to be careful what you say.
I'll never know. I'll never know what it's like to be in their shoes and have money and have, women crawling my way. That's just the facts. But I know if I would have had the kind of money, would I be more inclined? Potentially. But I'd be a hell of a lot smarter.
I'm not even answering the phone. So whoever's calling in, it's just call me, Nick. Save it for after the top of the hour because it's probably you. We're just saying.
Keep your private stuff private. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah. Bruce, what do you think about the you-know-what picks?
It would be sad.
Yeah, maybe.
Your latest news on KGSO.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier. More members of the Wichita community are questioning whether we should have flock cameras in the city or not after the latest lawsuit that has been challenging the city of Wichita for using flock cameras and connecting up to the nationwide flock database, as more residents say they're concerned about being tracked and having a violation of your privacy.
I would come into town and all of a sudden he would be there, like he was waiting for me. It started to be more than a coincidence. It just happened. It kept happening more and more. I didn't understand why or how he knew. And then that's when I learned about the flock cameras.
In other news, the city of Wichita's cooling stations are officially up and running across the city, offering 14 public locations for residents to visit during the extreme heat season, where all are open and free to the public.
It means a lot to us. It gives us a place where we sit, cool off, relax, charge phones, not have to worry about, oh, well, library's going to close, this, that, and the other. We can get to where we can stay cool.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier.
The news on KGSO is brought to you by Truck Stuff. Whether it's your camper, trailer, or both that need hauling, Truck Stuff has you covered. Online at truckstuffks.com or call 316-264-1908.
The Wichita Wind Surge fell last night 3-2 to Corpus Christi in the opener of a 6-game series at Equity Bank Park. Those two teams will play again tonight. The Surge are 17 and 23 on the season. The Royals had a good 8th inning where they scored 3 runs, but it wasn't enough. The game went into extras in 10 innings. The Dodgers clipped the Royals 5-4. Those two teams will wrap up their 3-game series tonight at 9:10. That's a look at your sports. From the Sports Desk, I'm Doug Downs. Sports Report brought to you by Burwell Construction. Decks, pergolas, patio covers, roofing, siding, windows, guttering, and more. 316-794-3430. We're online at burwellconstruction.com. Imagine a tropical paradise where the sun always shines and the fun never ends. Welcome to Blast Off Bay, the ultimate indoor water park. Catch a wave on our state-of-the-art surf machine, unwind with a cold drink at the poolside bar, or relax in our warm, inviting hot tub. Then get ready for thrills on 11 exciting water slides that'll take your breath away. Hungry? Enjoy pizza, burgers, wings, and more. Open 365 days a year with a perfect climate every day. Don't wait. Plan your escape today to Blast Off Bay.
Fox Sports. Fox Kansas is Wichita's home for exciting live sports action.
Saturday. It's an afternoon of exciting horse racing action as Fox Saratoga Saturday showcases the Christoph Clement Turf Stakes from 2 to 5. Then 2 MLB National League contenders square off in primetime as the Brewers battle the Dodgers at 6. And on Sunday, IndyCar NICS Racing takes to the streets of Markham, Ontario with the Ontario Honda dealers Indy at 11. Fox Sports. Fox Kansas. Channel 24. Cox Cable Channel 4.
Looking for a new-to-you ride? For over 70 years, customers have trusted Rusty Egg Ford with quality vehicles and exceptional service. We have 500 used cars available with 150 Ford Blue Advantage certified. From fuel-efficient cars to tough trucks and versatile SUVs, you'll find quality, value, and selection all in one place. That's peace of mind with every mile. Buy with confidence at Rusty Egg Ford. Visit rustyeggford.com. Family owned and simply the best place to buy. See dealer for details.
If you're 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket, may be tough. BenefitsCheckup.org is a free website that helps you pay for food, medicine, and more. Visit BenefitsCheckup.org.
This is Wichita's sports station, K230BY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO Belle Plaine, Wichita.
A warm start to the day today across south central Kansas, with overnight lows only dropping to about 80 degrees. As we get into the afternoon, way up there again. 106 going to be the high. Could feel like 110 because of the humidity. Wind will be out of the southwest, 10 to 15, gust to about 25. Tonight, we're mostly starry. Lows dropping to 82 by morning. That south wind persisting. For your day on Thursday, a little breezy and bright, and highs back near 106. In the Cape First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Frank Waugh.
At 8 o'clock, it's currently 78 degrees.
Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita. This is The Game Plan on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Hour number 3 of The Game Plan right here on Wichita's number one sports talk. It is KGSO. Over 20 years of delivering sports talk in and around the Wichita area. Couldn't do it without all of you listening to the station every day, starting with this show. Thank you so much for that. At 1410 AM, 93.9 FM, online at KGSO.com, through the app that you find in the App Store at SC Wichita, and, of course, across our streaming networks where you can watch and listen and leave comments for the show. Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch TV. Doug and James hanging with you here in the Renewal by Anderson Studios. Expert installation done right and right on schedule. That's what you get with Renewal by Anderson. We welcome in your phone calls. No guests are booked for the hour, so we love it if you'd be our guest on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotlines at 522-1410. We've been breaking down good and bad of each division in football. We're going to continue on with that series here and take a look at the NFC North today. This and the AFC West could be the two hardest divisions, in my opinion, to actually pick the winner in.
Yeah, I'll agree.
All four of these teams, I think, have a chance. I think the Vikings and the Lions, maybe their chance isn't as big as the Bears and the Packers, but they're still really, really good football teams that are well coached. So it might be the toughest.
It's the Vikings are a wild card, and they're in that pattern of we do well, we miss the playoffs. We make the playoffs again, we miss the playoffs. Well, they just missed the playoffs last year, so we should expect them to make the playoffs again. That's just kind of the pattern that they have done over the last decade.
Well, you can't believe everything that you read, obviously, when it comes to what's especially out there on social media. But yesterday, Kevin O'Connell did announce that Kyler Murray would be the starting quarterback over J.J. McCarthy. I read an article this morning where supposedly, again, use that word very lightly, Kevin O'Connell told every quarterback in the room, but be ready because chances are if things go the way they've went, McCarthy, you'll be playing by week 7, and the next guy up would be playing by week 13, and the next guy up maybe finishing the season, depending on how things go.
I would say he just said that to keep J.J. McCarthy hungry.
Probably.
Just to keep him motivated to actually want to practice, to be better, to want to be in the building. Because he's still a young guy. He's still on a rookie contract. You don't want to derail his confidence right away from what he had left, at least. Because that's what the Colts did with Richardson. Killed his confidence, and it killed his game. So that's
But he wasn't very good.
No, he wasn't. But JJ wasn't very good either. He had flashes, but yeah, more bad than good, in my opinion. So, yeah, they're the weak spot. But, Kyler, new place. And he's got the best receiver he's ever had in his career.
It seems like his addiction to video games has been kind of tabled.
Well,
at least he's spending time in the playbook.
We don't really know for sure, but yeah, he usually falls off about midway through the season. He's good for about half the season, and then that's when the jokes start coming back that, yeah, this guy may not really be all that invested after all. So I think, though, because he's not on a long-term deal anymore, he's not getting paid top dollar, he's in that boat of I need to go out there and prove myself so I can get another, maybe a 3-4 year contract with a new team. This is a prove-it year for him. And I'm not saying if he completely blunders it that he's done. Like, there's going to be another team out there that's still going to want to give him a shot.
I will say this. You've got Kevin O'Connell, which a lot of people, including me, have called him the quarterback whisperer. Like, he tends to take these guys that you think maybe are washed up and turn them into guys that actually are pretty good. You've got Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the game, Jordan Addison, Juan Jennings, TJ Hawkinson. Like, you got your best opportunity you've had in your career right here. And if you don't make something happen with it, then I don't know. I don't know if you can be a starter in this league.
I will say, though, now that Brian Flores is their defensive coordinator, I It gives them a significantly better chance at winning some games on the defensive side of the ball. And the Vikings have always been kind of above average in defense. They've never had a bad defense.
Right.
They've had bad offenses, but defense they've always been pretty respected in. They've never had a bottom tier defense, but it is going to look maybe a tad bit different this year than what we have been seeing over the last couple of years. Obviously, with no more Harrison Smith. I don't even remember if he was there last year. He might have been there for a couple of games, but I can't remember all that much. But only 2 new starters on defense, of course, with their first-rounder pick, Caleb Banks. He'll be the projected starter on the end. They brought in Juwan Jennings, who for a couple of game stretches last year, he turned it on. So to have him as your slot, to be your number 3 guy, that's a pretty good luxury to have. This is the best receiving room Kyler's ever had. And I know he had DeAndre Hopkins, but DeAndre Hopkins is no Justin Jefferson.
No.
So this is hands down, and you could even say this is probably the best offense Kyler Murray has been surrounded
100%.
Surrounded by. He never really had a running game.
With
in
probably
Arizona.
the best offensive-minded coach.
And maybe the best offensive line he's had, too, because Minnesota's never had a terrible offensive line. It's been very average all the time.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Rick, how you doing?
Morning.
I'm just so excited we're talking about football.
Well, a lot of people are.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Now, Doug, if these games start Thursday, are they going to be those weird channels like Prime and stuff that you got to have a special channel to get them, or are they going to be on major networks?
Well, there's going to be a couple of them that'll be on the NFL Network, which if you have just a standard streaming or cable package, you should get the NFL Network. And then there was something in James, maybe you know what this is, called ESPN Unlimited. What is that?
I knew what it was a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it is anymore, but I do recall talking about that about a month or two ago.
So it's a new one from ESPN?
Let's see. Yeah, it's a direct-to-consumer streaming subscription that provides full access to all 12 linear ESPN networks and ABC, $30 a month to get that. But, I mean, don't we already have this? Like, I've already got all these channels.
If you have YouTube TV, you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already got all these.
So I think that's what they're doing. ESPN Unlimited is going to kind of do what YouTube TV does, but just for the Disney channels, like anything that Disney owns.
So if you don't have any kind of a cable or streaming network, you're just on, standard TV, you could order this package.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my problem is I probably have it. I just can't figure out how to find it.
Well, I mean, it's only 4 letters, so I think you could probably figure it out.
Well, okay. Well, listen, you guys have a great day. I'll listen to you up there.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. All right. Back to the NFC North. For the Vikings, start out strong. Your opening game is against the Packers at home. Got to go on the road to the Bears. So, tough first couple of weeks. But then, man, you got to go to the Buccaneers. You get the Dolphins. You get the Saints. You get your Colts. So, first 5, not terribly difficult. Could start out with a pretty good season. Where do you see Minnesota finishing in this division? Are they third, second, last, first? Where do you see?
I mean, each team does have to finish somewhere.
Right.
This is the tough part. This is where people get paid a lot. I'm going to go ahead and throw them in that third spot comfortably.
Okay.
Third spot. And I don't feel super confident about that. Just because one of those other 3 teams has to finish fourth, and I don't feel confident in that either. But if we're going on recent trends, I'm a big guy on that. Minnesota should be much improved this year than they were last year.
But still not a playoff team if they finish third, most likely.
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, that's a coin toss.
I think it's going to depend on how the NFC East and West do.
I'm not going to be surprised if we only have 2 teams from the East. I
wouldn't either.
I guess I wouldn't even be surprised if only one made it out of the East.
I might.
Because if the Cowboys really miss the playoffs, are we all going to? You might, but I don't think majority of the people are going to be like, "Wow, we did not see that coming."
I would probably be more surprised, to be honest with you, if the Giants miss the playoffs. based off of what they have.
I'm not right there. I'm not there with you just yet.
All right.
But yeah, third for Minnesota.
And it is weird because Minnesota could finish last. They could finish second. I don't think they finished first. I think the Bears finished first. But, with the trend of the Packers, who we can talk about next, and their injury problems, do you trust that this team's going to stay healthy? That's the big problem with the Packers. I think they're loaded up with talent. And I like their coach a lot. I think Micah Parsons was a great addition. Don't know when he's going to be ready to play. Jordan Love, if he can continue to grow, they've got a lot of weapons offensively. It's a tough place to play late in the season based off of the weather. I think the Packers, again, they could win this division. They could finish fourth.
I don't know if the Packers can finish fourth.
If they don't stay healthy.
They've been pretty consistent at finishing at least 9-8.
Yeah.
At least above 500. But bringing in Javon Hargrave from Minnesota, big boost to your defensive line. They traded for Zaire Franklin, who's been the league-leading tackler over the last 3 years. So that's a good addition to have to combine with your pass-rushing linebacker in Parsons. I think that was kind of the perfect move for them. You have a field general out there, one that can read defenses, and then you have the other one that can just react. So I think they're in a good spot defensively. But to me, everyone likes to talk about that receiving room. I'm not sold. I'm not sold on this receiving room. I'm not sold on Christian Watson. I'm not really sold on Matthew Gold yet. Jaden Reed's nice, but they have too many heads to feed on that offense, and it's not a overly passing aggressive offense. They like to be split if they have to, and there's too many people to throw the ball to.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Doug, I got another quick question. Do you mind?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, if you were the number one draft pick and you were a quarterback and you had to go to the Jets, I'll listen off the air. Would you go? I'll listen off the air.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. I mean, would I go? Yes. Because, one, as a number one draft pick, you're going to make a lot of money.
Win or lose.
Win or lose. And so I would go make my money and then, look to maybe be traded later on in my career if things don't turn around.
I'm trying to think if there was – who's the last number one overall quarterback, besides the obvious, to not even get a second contract? There's no way it's him. There has to have been another number one quarterback that never got a second contract. I'll be damned if it is Jamarcus Russell.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, because maybe it's not a second contract with the team because that was Baker.
Right.
But I'm just saying second contract for anyone.
Right, yeah.
I think Jamarcus Russell might be the last to do it.
Probably so. Probably so.
So going back to the Packers, I'm not sold on their offense or their receiving room.
Well, I think Tucker Kraft is really good, and you're going to see more of him.
We saw that drop off when he was gone last year.
Yeah.
We did see them drop off.
I mean, obviously Josh Jacobs is always going to be a threat out of the backfield. I think they got a pretty good offensive line. To me, for the Packers, it's about this defense. Yes, they brought in some good pieces, but I think I read the other day, Micah Parsons, I don't think is going to be ready until week 3 or 4, right?
Was that the latest?
Which is kind of crazy because him and Mahomes had similar injuries and how one's going to be ready in week 1. And
one's 250 pounds.
Well, I understand that. Yeah.
One's a little bit heavier, has a little bit more muscle on him. They're also projecting to start their 7th round selection that they got a few years ago in Carrington Valentine. And I don't know much about him, but a 7th rounder 3 years later, 4 years later, getting the starting job. So we'll see what happens there. But secondary's always had a little bit of question. They have a tendency to give up big plays. They're good at most drives and not giving up, but there just seems to be that one big play that this secondary gives up every game. And it's always in a crucial moment too. So just a little bit of a cleanup there, and you might see those 9-win teams turn into 12-win teams. But I'm going to put this team in. They're too professional to lose more than they can win. I think there's too much talent here for that to happen.
Man, they have a stretch here, though, where it is pretty difficult. I mean, they start out on the road with the Vikings, then they go to the Jets, Falcons at home, on the road with the Buccaneers, but then they go Bears, Cowboys, Lions, and then you get the Panthers, who, I
Division
think
winner.
is becoming
Division
better.
winner.
Yeah. And then you go to the Patriots. Like, that's a tough stretch all the way through the first part of November. And then you get the Vikings and the Rams. Like, you're through the month of November with a pretty tough stretch right there.
Well, that's what they get, though, for finishing as well as they did last year.
Yeah.
So I think Jordan Love needs to put together a full season as well. We've seen him do 8-9 games. I want to see 17.
See, I wasn't as sold on him as a rookie as a lot of people were, and then he kind of started winning me over.
Yeah, as a rookie. You mean his first year starting? Or?
Yeah. First year starting.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on him either, especially being in the state of Utah when he was there. We didn't hear much about him in college, and we knew that the guy was talented, but did any of us think that he was going to turn out to be this good? No, nobody. None of us out there thought that this was going to translate. So, he's obviously added to his skill set over the years, and there are flashes of Rodgers in him. Whether we like to admit that or not, he carries some of the same movement as him, and that's only right because he learned from him. So, I think if he's got to relax a little bit. I think he plays a little bit with too much of a chip on his shoulder. Like he's almost trying to outshine his
mentor. Still trying to prove himself.
Right. And it's like, dude, you kind of have proven yourself a little bit, but not to the extent to where you're an elite quarterback.
But, dude, think about it. If you had to follow Brett Favre than Aaron Rodgers, like that's 2 decades of greatness,
sure,
right?
Yeah, it's pressure, but you can't. That's how these younger players fizzle out is they compare themselves to greats. And then when they realize, oh, I'm not going to be that, they change. And that it ruins them. It alters their careers.
Judd says on Facebook that Carrington is a stud. Packers also have a new defensive coordinator in Jonathan Gannon. So
is he going to be one of those guys where he's not a head coach but he's a coordinator?
Probably.
Because his tenure in Arizona was not good.
No.
Not good. But he could be one of those guys that thrives as a coordinator, and this could be a sneaky hire.
Is anybody's tenure in Arizona going to be good?
Well, Arians was. Bruce Arians. He had a nice little. He went to an NFC Championship game, won a couple of division titles. That's probably the best stretch that they've had in their history.
Well, it didn't hurt that you had Fitzgerald.
Right, but Carson Palmer had a good year too. So, it's been very bleak for Arizona.
Staying in this division with the Lions, I think the Bears win the division, by the way, and we're going to talk about them last, but. With the Lions, to me, it boils down to this. Did you make good hires? Because obviously you didn't to replace Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. So did you make good hires that can – I've said this all along about Goff. And if you watch that quarterback documentary, you can't help but like the kid. He's just, he's a good down-to-earth, down-home individual. But I've said this all along about him. I think he is a guy that has to have a plan – be confident in the plan, and then he plays exceptionally well. And I think that's what he had with Ben Johnson all the time. Is Ben Johnson told him, this is what we need you to do. Here's how you do it. Now let's go out and practice it. And he played well. He didn't have that last year. Then Dan Campbell takes over as the play caller. There were times when Goff probably had to audible and call his own stuff that didn't work. And his confidence was gone. And we saw the Jared Goff we saw when he first entered the league. So did he make good? If he made good hires, you've got a lot of talent on this Detroit team.
There is a lot of talent, and the injury concerns for the defense have always been there. They've been there for at least the last 3 years, and it's easy to say, yeah, with those guys healthy, this team's going to be much improved. But to do my best without relying on the injury crutch, I think Jahmyr Gibbs, and I know that he's been great. So far in his career, but
you hope it continues after a big contract.
Right.
Sometimes we see that doesn't happen.
You hope it does. You want him to stay healthy, but now you got Pacheco behind him.
Who's not healthy.
Still?
Yeah. He got hurt again the other day in practice.
Classic. But, he had 250 rushing attempts each of the last 2 seasons, and that's not a crazy amount. I'm not going to be able to do the math, but that's not maybe 15 carries a game. I think that needs to be bumped up a little bit. The guy's only 24 years old. He's just about to enter his prime if he's not already in it. He's about to take off. So instead of holding him back and preserving him because it's a long season, just let the guy run wild. Like, let him off the leash, because it really has seemed like the Lions have done almost everything in their power to make sure that this guy doesn't get overworked.
But now that you've paid him,
you kind of have to. You kind of have to a little bit. And, it's going to be different not having David Montgomery behind him anymore, the famous Sonic and Knuckles combo. But Pacheco is more than capable, I think, of doing what David Montgomery could do, because they're both not burners. They're both a little bit beefier guys. Pacheco can catch passes out of the backfield. So I think he's a nice second option for this offense, but I really would like to see them kind of let Jahmyr Gibbs go loose. I think it's time. And same thing, we can say the same thing about Bijan, but I think Gibbs even more so.
I think with Detroit, you have to look at, you've got two of the better players on offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
In St. Brown and Gibbs. You got to rely on those
tight
guys.
end too.
Yeah. But you got to rely on those guys, right? They have to be the staple of your offense. And defenses are going to know it, but I think they're good enough it's okay. As long as you have a good balanced attack. All right, before we get to break, let's take a look at the Chicago Bears. Here's the one thing that sticks out to me with this team. Caleb Williams has lost some weight. Does that make his escapability the same as it was before? If you listen to Colin Cowherd, who went out to practice, he'll tell you he's faster. Ran 21 miles an hour last year. He's even faster than that because of losing the weight. Throwing the ball very well. But the thing that sticks out to me about this team is this wide receiver room is not overly great.
But they run a lot of 2 tight end sets.
They do, but does that play into what you get from Caleb Williams?
I think not having a burner at running back is going to hold them back using their offensive formations. Because DeAndre Swift's nice, but I'm not scared of DeAndre Swift.
No. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, boys.
Devin, how you doing?
Oh, I've been better. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing great. Hey, I honestly believe that, the Packers, man, I know this is my team. I hate saying this, but I think we're going to have an off season. I think we probably finish last in that division. And wow. I think Minnesota is a huge upgrade with Kyler. I don't care what you tell me, JJ is trash. I should have never even went with him. And Detroit got instantly better with all their injuries last year, coming back at the end of the year. And then, you got the Bears, who's probably going to win the conference. You got your MVP over there. Him or Dak are my 2 MVPs for this year. I just, with all the injuries we had last year, we got a new defensive coordinator. Our big trophy we went out and purchased last year ain't coming back till week 8. We just have so many problems, and I don't know. I just feel like Love and the coach weren't on the same page last year. Last year just felt weird, and I feel like we're due for a terrible season. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Though.
It's just such a tough division. It's tough to say where they're going to end up. I mean, this division is very, very. Every team in this division has an opportunity to win it.
Yeah, I mean, you could make an argument that all 4 teams could make the playoffs, but I don't think that's possible. But it's going to be a crazy year. So, but I'm excited for it. I'll tell you that much. I'm so excited. Football season's here.
Yeah, right around the corner. Actually, your team and my team have a preseason game coming up here in a couple of weeks, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's next week.
Is it?
Or the week after.
Well, we'll get to see our backups play against each other. It'll be good.
I think I'm actually going down to opening the KU September 4th. Actually, my birthday. I'm going down to the opening game for KU, I think. So.
Oh, nice.
Super excited, man. Football season's here. So tired of baseball. Let's
Stop.
Get it rolling.
Stop. Devin, when are you guys going to start delivering? Not you personally. I mean, like your actual shop. Because I know you can deliver.
Oh, you can go to DoorDash. They deliver.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can go DoorDash, Uber, all that stuff. We do that.
But it costs a little bit more, though, Devin.
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but the world's expensive, and it's not going to get any cheaper. So it's the same argument that I have with people who are like, "Oh, have you seen the gas prices? Like, you ain't going to pay it. What, are you just going to stop driving?" Like,
hey, Devin, I think if we all did, that would actually make a point. If we all for one day said, you know what, we're not going to a gas station, you don't think they would lower those prices?
Oh, James, that's the reason we all still pay taxes. So
yeah, because we all need to rise
We're
up.
real close to this show needing to be over on KQAM with you two.
You guys have a good day. Drink some more water. It's
All
going to be
right.
hot. And it's been hot this week.
Yeah, see you, buddy. All right, 522-1410 if you want to weigh in. Just to wrap up here with the Bears, I do think that this team does win the division. I agree with Devin. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a shot at being in that MVP conversation. Look, and I was harsh on this kid coming out of USC. Like I thought he had a chance to be a bust just based off of kind of from a mental standpoint. And he's very, very fortunate that he got a guy like Ben Johnson to come in. And I know Ben Johnson has been rough on him too and been pretty harsh, but it seemed to have worked.
I think the bad from this team could be they're just going to try and be too cute, right? They're going to do too many trick plays because, Caleb is a more expressive guy than Jared Goff is. Goff is a very, he's not an expressive guy. He's kind of vanilla in that aspect. But Caleb, he's outgoing. He likes to be the focus. And so I can see him, getting a play call from Ben and Caleb adding a little bit of a spin to it, a little bit of flair to it. And it could cost him a little bit. But, Caleb's been very good at improvising.
I don't know how great they are defensively either.
Yeah, I don't either. I think their secondary,
it's kind of weak. You got Montez Sweat, but he's been hurt.
Well, they brought in Kobe Bryant over from Seattle, and they drafted a first rounder safety. So I it should be improved. And then they brought over Devin Bush from Cleveland for that starting middle linebacker spot. So it's not perfect by any means, but I think that defense is good enough to keep this offense in games.
But here's the problem. I still believe this, and some people think I'm crazy, but I think all you got to do is look at history. I still believe that good defenses can win championships.
Will he throw for 4,000 this year and finally break the curse? Maybe 4,000 total, but not 4,000 passing.
No. A couple of segments left. 522-1410. Weigh in this morning here on the Game Plan.
This segment of the Game Plan is brought to you by Moneytown Pawn on Oliver, just south of Pawnee. Tools, electronics, firearms, jewelry, and more. Find what you need at Moneytown Pawn.
The Game Plan. KGSO.
This is The Herd.
You got to be consistent.
With Colin Cowherd.
Mic check. I think everybody's looking through the wrong end of the telescope. I think the Dodgers are driving baseball. I was told when they got Kyle Tucker from the Cubs, who Chicago couldn't get out of town fast enough, that was ruining baseball. Kyle Tucker's hitting 230. Ohtani's going to ruin baseball. Tarek Skubal, it's a 3-month rental.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays at 11 a.m. right here on KGSO and on the SC Wichita app.
School is out. Summer meals are now called Sun Meals and are being served in Kansas communities at parks, pools, libraries, churches, and schools. Meals are free to all children 18 and younger with no enrollment need. Find a nearby site by texting the word SUMMER to 914-342-7744 or call 1-866-348-6479. Let's keep Kansas kids powered up for summer fun and academic success. This institution is an equal opportunity provider, sponsored by the Kansas State Department of Education and aired in cooperation with the station.
Imagine a tropical paradise where the sun always shines and the fun never ends. Welcome to Blast Off Bay, the ultimate indoor water park. Catch a wave on our state-of-the-art surf machine, unwind with a cold drink at the poolside bar, or relax in our warm, inviting hot tub. Then get ready for thrills on 11 exciting water slides that'll take your breath away. Hungry? Enjoy pizza, burgers, wings, and more. Open 365 days a year with a perfect climate every day. Don't wait. Plan your escape today to Blast Off Bay.
Wichita Wind Surge Baseball is back at Equity Bank Park. Bring your friends, bring the family, and enjoy an exciting night of baseball right here in Wichita. From big hits to family-friendly promotions and special theme nights, there's always something happening at the ballpark. For the full schedule of upcoming events, follow us on Facebook at Wichita Wind Surge or visit us online at windsurge.com. Wichita Wind Surge Baseball. Don't miss the action at Equity Bank Park.
Are you looking for a better healthcare experience? Look no further. Kingman Healthcare Center is a full-service hospital and 24/7 emergency room with little to no wait times. Kingman Healthcare Center was recently named a Top 20 Critical Access Hospital by the Chartis Center for Rural Health. Top 20 in the entire nation. Come see for yourself what all the celebration is about. Exceptional care every time. To learn more, visit our website at kingmanhc.com.
It's time for you to crave a taco with a touch of tradition. Taco Pronto is family owned and has been operating for nearly 55 years. Taco Pronto makes all their food in-house from scratch using the freshest ingredients at prices that you can't beat. So come on in and take advantage today at Taco Pronto's daily specials to spice up your lunch, or grab a 12-pack of corn tacos for $11.99 for a quick dinner. Taco Pronto, 8385 West 21st Street North, and taste the difference for yourself and order online at TacoProntoWichita.com.
Right now, Rusty at Ford is making it easier than ever to save. Get 2.9% financing for 84 months plus $1,000 rebate on all 2026 F-150s. With dealer discounts and 2 years maintenance on us, now's the perfect time to drive home in a new truck. Looking for something else? We have 500 new and used vehicles to choose from. And don't forget, we'll give you up to $5,000 over KBB for your trade. Visit RustyAtFord.com. Simply the best place to buy. With approved credit, 2 years or 25,000 miles maintenance. See dealer for details. Raptor's not included.
Even the finest jewelry needs repairs sometimes, and Wichita's first choice for full-service jewelry repair is Jewelry Savers. Whether you need ring sizing, stone setting, soldering, or shank repair, Jewelry Savers does it, along with lobster clasps, prong retipping, pearl restringing, chains shortened or lengthened, watch repair, watch batteries, watch bands, engraving, cleaning, polishing, even appraisals. Trust Jewelry Savers by Cabela's at K96 in Greenwich.
Jewelry Savers, we don't want $1 million, just a million friends.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon James. Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
NFL, college, and high school football. It's all right here on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Welcome back into the show. A couple of segments before we jump out of here at 9 o'clock. And this is it. It is the final day.
Taco Tico, it's all about the taste.
Man, if you haven't taken advantage of this special, you have today to get it done. 13th and Tyler, 35th and Rock Road, Arc City, El Dorado, Newton, Derby, Augusta. It is Taco Tico, where it's all about the taste. And the 2 for $5 taco burger, beef Sancho, combo burrito. Any two, just $5. New special kicks in tomorrow. It's a great one. But today, the 2 for $5 ends. So stop by and see our friends at Taco Tico. If you don't have time to eat inside, you got to do something quick. You can order online at tacotico.us and just stop by and pick it up. It's all about the taste at Taco Tico. 522-1410 is the Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotlines. Call the show. You've heard me talk about this the last couple of days. That's just because we're all excited for what's going to happen in high school sports. We got the proof back late yesterday for our high school football preview guide. We'll be going through that this morning. Given final approval, it'll go to the printer, and boom, hopefully next week we'll have that out at our sponsor locations for you to pick up. Free publication. Read about 72 high schools across the state. We've gathered some great information from a lot of the coaches from around the state of Kansas, and we've put it all together in article forms for you to read about what's going on in high school football. A lot of good players, a lot of good coaches, a lot of good teams for this season. So that will be coming out next week, and we'll have plenty of sponsor locations in and around Wichita that you can pick up your high school football preview guide. So make sure you kind of mark that down on your calendar as something to do when you're out and about next week, and then get set for kickoff September the 4th. Northwest Bishop Carroll right here on KGSO, Garden Plain Cheney over on KQAM. That is our week 1 matchups, and it should be some great games right there in week 1. Looking forward to it. We'll have our statewide scoreboard show to follow it from 10 to 11 across about 22 stations across the state, and then the Saturday morning sports page, the first one on September the 5th from 8 to 9. I'll be in to host that. I'm going to start reaching out to some high school coaches. We'll have them on starting hopefully next week. The schedules are going to be kind of weird because I think that the high schools are going to be in morning practices all next week because of the heat. So hopefully we'll be able to catch up with some of the high school coaches in between practices or right after school starts in the 8 o'clock hour and start to get them on the show to talk about the upcoming season. By the way, coming up, this is kind of off the high school subject, but I wanted to make sure that I mentioned this. Coming up tomorrow on the show, NASCAR driver Noah Gregson is going to join us. He's going to be in Kansas City doing a special event, and called me yesterday and said, hey, if you got any time, would love to come on Thursday. So we're going to have him on the show tomorrow. I'm still trying to nail down the exact time that he will be available, but we're going to have him on the show tomorrow morning. So that should be a lot of fun if you're a NASCAR fan to hear from one of their young and up-and-coming, I think, going to be stars in NASCAR, and Noah Gregson. So it should be a good time with that. So, yeah, high school sports right around the corner. Flag football kicks off this year as a CASIA-sanctioned sport for girls, which is going to be a lot of fun as well. We're going to try to get some of those coaches on the show as well and talk to them. And just looking forward to everything that we have coming up this fall. It's going to be a great fall. It's going to be a great time to cover high school sports again. It's always kind of amazing because we start out, and it seems like the heat just kind of hangs on for a while, and then boom, we're at the end of the year, and we're all freezing to death when it comes to high school football. But looking forward to September 4th, getting here in that Labor Day weekend where we kick things off in the high school ranks. And again, the high school football preview guide will be out in stores starting next week. 522-1410 is the phone number if you want to call. Would love to hear from you this morning on the show. What's your thoughts? Northwestern football, and I know a lot of you don't care about Northwestern, but this university is, I think, on the move in the Big Ten. And they have just received a $35 million football-focused gift over the next 3 years. Obviously, they're going to open up a brand-new stadium this year that supposedly is one of the nicest, if not the nicest, stadiums in the NCAA. I'm just telling you this. I think, and some of you aren't going to agree, and I get this, but I really do think that the Big Ten has overtaken the SEC when it comes to football. It seems like these Big Ten schools have a ton of money that they can go out and invest not only in their programs but in bringing in athletes. They've won the last 3 national championships. You're getting kids from the South now that are paying attention to even these cold weather states. And I just think the Big Ten in today's landscape has done a better job than the SEC. And I think the SEC is kind of reeling over it a little bit. I think they're trying to figure out how to put a stop to it. But it's not going to happen until their schools outside of Texas get a lot of money. Because if you really look at some of these schools that are in the SEC, the money's just not there like it is at some of these Big Ten schools. You cannot compare even a program like Alabama money-wise to what they see at Ohio State or at Michigan. Texas, you probably can. But outside of that, the money's not near as strong in the South. And it's kind of weird to think because you would think there'd be a ton of money down there, right? I mean, like, you go to some of those areas, homes are nice, but it's all about the donors and what kind of money they're willing to give up. And you got schools like Northwestern that are getting $35 million over the next 3 years for their football program. You got schools like Indiana that have Mark Cuban donating a ton of money to them now. You got schools, even Nebraska, and Warren Buffett and Larry the Cable Guy and Gabrielle Union and some of these people that come from that university that have money that are given back to it. I was reading an article the other day. Most of you listening to this show know that I'm a big Nebraska fan. And I was reading an article the other day just about how much money has now poured into that football program. Like, that kind of money is not going to keep you down forever. Now, am I saying Nebraska is going to come in and win the Big Ten championship or go to a national championship game? No, not right now. I think there's still a lot of work to be done there. But they are going, and I truly believe they will be better. I think Northwestern will be better. I think Michigan State will be better. And you add that to what you already have in Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Indiana. USC is going to be really good. UCLA is going to be better. And it's tough to remember that USC and UCLA are Big Ten programs now, but they are. You all of a sudden, in my opinion, for this upcoming season, you've got 7 or 8 programs in the Big Ten that I think can be 8 or 9 win programs or more. And that's what we've seen out of the SEC up to this point, is that as a conference, they constantly were delivering 7 to 8, 9, 10 win football programs. So it's not going to shock me one bit to see. And if you look at some of the preseason rankings that are out there right now, depending on who you like to listen to, I talked about this yesterday. Joel Klatt, who's a guy that I really follow a lot, and I admire what he has to say. I think he's a good analyst for college football. You look at his top 7, there's not an SEC school there. Oregon's there. Notre Dame's there. Miami's there. And he's got 6 Big 12 teams in the mix. So college football, I think, this year is going to be extremely competitive and interesting. And I think the Big Ten is going to come out as the best conference in college football. And some people will say, well, they already have. They won the last 3 national championships. Okay, I'll give you that. But it's been, outside of the surprise of Indiana for some, it's basically been Ohio State and Michigan, who you expect to be good. All right, James will come back. We'll finish things up. Jim says, you think, shoot, data don't lie. Big is on top and we'll stay. Go Blue.
Call the game plan now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The game plan. KGSO.
The wait is officially over. The NFL is back on Sports USA. Every hit matters, and every play sets the tone.
Give to Henry. Out in the middle he goes. Runs into his own tackler. Breaks through another extensible over the goal line. Touchdown, Baltimore.
It's where the rookies fight for their spot and the veterans stake their claim. This Saturday, it's the Philadelphia Eagles at the Baltimore Ravens on your home for the NFL, Sports USA.
Pre-game Saturday at 5:30 right here on Wichita Sports Station, KGSO.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
For over 55 years and 2 generations, the Southwestern Remodeling Professionals have been providing homeowners in the Wichita area with a truly unique luxury remodeling experience. From the initial consultation through project design and production, our team provides concierge-style service with a true focus on the best quality products and professional installation. Are you ready to experience something truly different? Give us a call today at 263-1239 or visit southwesternremodeling.com.
Every school pickup line has a main character. Most days, it's the kids. But once a year, a parent pulls up in a brand new Kia Telluride. and suddenly all eyes are on Mom.
Is that the new one? I heard it comes in a hybrid now. I heard it has heated seats in all 3 rows.
And for a moment, the kids aren't the only ones in the spotlight. This August, let that parent be you, because Mom deserves to shine too. Or if it's your student's turn to get behind the wheel, find great starter cars like the K4 sedan and K4 hatchback. Plus, you can get 0% financing on brand new Sportage and Sorrento models. And every new Kia is backed by our unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Whichever model you choose, we have big savings on great vehicles for that main character energy. Only at Midwest Kia.
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
With approved credit, see dealer for details. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty.
Tricked out, decked out, check us out, Truck Stuff.
You've probably already heard that Truck Stuff is the place to go to lift, level, or lower your truck. And of course, we have an enormous in-stock selection of bed covers, running boards, and floor mats. But did you know that we do wheels and tires, gear swaps, and spray and bed liners? Stop by today to deck out your ride at Truck Stuff at the corner of Central and Washington.
Tricked out, decked out, check us out, Truck Stuff.
Are you looking for a better healthcare experience this summer? Kingman Healthcare Center is a full-service hospital with a 24/7 emergency room with little to no wait times. Our clinics offer same-day appointments and convenient scheduling for your annual checkups. Don't wait. Make your health a top priority and schedule your appointment today. You won't regret the short drive without the big city traffic. Exceptional care every time. To learn more, visit our website, kingmanhc.com.
Your home for Fox Sports Radio. This is Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
When you wake up in the morning and the light has hurt your head, the first thing you do when you get up out of bed is hit that streets a running and try to beat the masses. Go get yourself some cheap sunglasses.
Gonna need those today, that's for sure. Dude, I was looking across just one of the weather apps, and outside of maybe Sunday and Monday when it's going to be like 99 and 98, it's going to be above 102 for the next like 10 days, at least.
I think pushing 105.
It's going to make for high school football practices a lot of fun at 5 in the morning.
That would probably be the only time that I would want to do a 6 a.m. or a 5 a.m. practice, just to not be out there. And I understand that the game times are going to be hotter, kickoff time for the first couple of weeks, but I think it should be not mandatory, but I think some coaches should look at it, at their players' health and safety, and go, yeah, let's just do it in the morning.
I grew up in a time when we had 3 days. I loved the 6 a.m. practices. Had a little dew on the ground. It was, it wasn't cool by no means, but it sure as hell was better than the ones that started at noon.
Yeah.
So you had 6, noon, and 6. And the night practice just sucked because it was the third one of the day, and once you got through about the first week of that, you were done. Like, you were over all that.
Yeah, you just get irritated.
Yeah. Man, not good news for Matt Miller, the NFL draft analyst. If you remember this, back in June, he had a car crash, and they had to amputate his left arm because of it. Now he apparently has been charged with a misdemeanor from that crash because it says failure to drive on the right half of the roadway when the roadway was of sufficient width, resulting in an accident. So does this mean, because I don't think that at the time they found any kind of like he wasn't not under the influence. They say the blood work couldn't confirm that, but I don't know, maybe he was texting and driving? I don't know. You know anything about this guy?
No, I don't even really know much about the story.
I've seen him before. He was a draft analyst for ESPN. He's still on leave, but yeah, I got in a car wreck back in June and lost his left arm over it.
Yeah, that's pretty serious, but Yeah, it sounds like that there might be some more dark underlining things that will come out. And like I said, I don't know exactly what it would be, but it's not an easy story from what I've gathered.
Yeah, there's like some kind of, like he got involved in some kind of a charitable scandal or something. I don't know all the story behind him. CBS came out, their president, and talked about the Tony Romo situation, said there's no timetable or financial decision at this time regarding the future of the network's lead NFL TV analyst, Tony Romo, after being put on leave. It's an evolving situation, according to CBS, and they're still assessing everything before they make a final decision. Do you think he should have been fired?
I don't think he's just being put on leave, right?
Okay, he's been fired. They replaced him with J.J. Watt.
He may be back the following season. He may be back next year, but just get him out of the headlines, get him out of the spotlight, let him figure his stuff out, and then we'll retouch this in a year.
I don't know what Tony Romo's situation is. I don't know if he has a problem with alcohol or not. He might be behind the scenes deal that we don't know about. But if what he said is true, now who knows? He was at a golf tournament and then was driving to the airport to catch a plane. Like, how many times have you went and played golf and had a few beers?
Don't drive. You're rich enough. You have someone that can drive you around, Tony. I mean, your lucrative deal with CBS alone should have included some kind of a personal chauffeur.
Okay, we can sit here and say this all we want, but I guarantee you there are thousands of people, and I'm guilty of it, where you go to a golf course, you have 2 or 3 beers over the course of the day, and then, you don't feel anything, so you drive. And if you get pulled over, like, you're going to probably get arrested.
I don't know, maybe you didn't sweat enough.
Maybe not.
You didn't sweat enough while you were playing golf.
It's funny because when you watch that video, and I've heard both sides of this, to me, did I feel like he was hammered drunk? No. Did he seem confused a lot? Yes.
He seemed less intoxicated than Mark Sanchez.
Which is another weird deal because we still don't know what happened with that.
But I think it's safe to say that Sanchez is probably done. But with Tony, there wasn't any violence. There wasn't any issues with it. I mean, he was compliant. So I think they're just going to let him, kind of do his thing for a year, and then they'll retouch bases back next summer and see where he's at, see if, he even wants to come back and do it. So I'd imagine he does. I'd imagine he loves being in the booth and being able to express his football knowledge.
He does.
But I don't think this is going to escalate any further. I think we've found out. I think we have all the information we need going on forward.
The Sanchez deal is weird because he don't even remember any of that. Like, I'm wondering if the dude got roof.
It might have been a little bit more than just alcohol.
Yeah, I'm wondering
Maybe.
if he got roofied.
Well,
or if it was self-induced. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
We don't know yet.
I don't know. Look, it just cracks me up sometimes though that these, and I get it. Maybe you have to save face if you're CBS, but it does just sometimes crack me up that some of these people that probably have done the same thing are now the ones that are, the holier than thou attitude.
I think J.J. Watt, though, will be a good replacement. I think he'll be fine.
I mean, the one thing that Romo did for Nance is he kind of brought him out of his shell a little bit. I don't know that J.J. Watt's going to do that.
Maybe with time. I
mean, don't get me wrong. I think Jim Nance is an outstanding play-by-play guy. Love his golf call. Like, his golf is spot on. Liked him in the NCAA tournament. But he's kind of stiff. I mean, he's,
He has his ways.
He comes from that school of we need to just kind of Be professional broadcasters, call the game, not get too much of the outside stuff. Yeah. Him, Al Michaels, I don't know. I like Kevin Burkhardt a lot. I think he's really good.
Yeah, he's kind of exciting. Yeah.
Really good. All right, it's going to do it for a Wednesday edition of the Game Plan. Thanks so much for listening to the show. Thanks to everybody that called, commented up on Facebook Live. We really appreciate that. Share that out to all your friends. Make sure they understand. You can watch, listen, comment anytime on our live shows here at KGSO. We'll see you tomorrow. Wyatt Thompson, Noah Gregson, both on the show tomorrow.
Your latest news on KGSO.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier. Wichita State University's Technical Foundation wrapped up last night, announcing they